How we doing? How we doing, y'all? This is going to be an interesting conversation. I want this to be a productive conversation. Let me make sure. Hold on. Send this out, right? Because a lot of people are talking about delineation and the necessity of delineation. People are talking about different terms that they're using. And there is no term that's used now, whether that's Black American. Some people use Black American. Most people use Black American. People use Black American. People use Solon. People use freedmen. All of that stuff. That whole African American term, that's a term that's been, kind of dying down as, in the last few years or so, right? But there is an issue with the term foundational Black American. The word foundational, or term rather, foundational Black American tends to stir up some type of emotion, tends to stir up some type of controversy and all of these things. There's this issue that people have with that specific term, okay? Now, I'm not telling people what they can or can't identify with, what they should or shouldn't use as their identity, as whatever term that they use to identify themselves. That's fine. Okay, that's your prerogative. All right. And at the end of the day, as long as we're talking specifically about our lineage, arguably there's no need to even, major in a minors with semantics. If we're talking about our lineage, are we descendant of American chattel slavery? Yeah, we can also refer to ourselves as freedmen. We can refer to ourselves as a lot of different things, right? But there seems to be some type of issue people have with the term foundational Black American. And I want to have an honest conversation with people about why that is. Now, I will give you my opinion as to why that is. I will give you my opinion in just a short second. But I want to say that and for this Black History Month, I think it's very important that we have this honest discussion about why people have an issue specifically with that term, okay? Because there's like a feeling people have about that, and I'm going to get into that, all right? I'm going to start letting people up in just a moment. Y'all hold on. The feeling people have about the term foundational Black American, a lot of people say that it's a group or it's something like that because the people who use the term, now everybody's a part of the lineage, but there's a certain percentage of the lineage who openly and frequently use that term, right? You want to understand? Excuse me, follow me. So the people who use that term are also often a part of delineation, or the delineation movement rather, right? They're also delineating. And because that's not been something we have done as a collective, as a culture, it's something new. It is seen as and labeled as something that is quote unquote xenophobic. So anytime you see a foundational Black American doing any type of delineating, any type of differentiating, it's going to be seen as xenophobic. So because FBA are the people, or the people who use the term FBA is synonymous with also people who delineate, because the term in and of itself is it came about relatively with delineation. Even though it's not a movement, it came about the same way. People have the same feelings about FBA and delineation, okay? So people don't like that. People don't like the whole idea and concept of delineation. That's why a lot of people have an issue with that term, because that term invokes the feeling of delineation. Because when you say Black American, that you don't get the feeling and vibe that person is on a very gatekeeping type of time and type of energy. Okay, you don't know that. That's not the assumption when people say Black American. But when people say foundational Black American, okay, well, that comes, somebody saying that is already going to be on board with delineating and differentiating themselves from other classes and ethnic groups of people, okay, and standing on their own lineage and ethnic group. And they don't like that. All right. So This is what I have seen. Now, if anybody else wants to come up and try to talk about why the term foundational Black American is so disliked, we're willing to hear it. Have an honest conversation. All right. Let me BX will be here shortly, hopefully. So ZZ, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, am I clear? Because you was just breaking up, but I just connected to some Wi-Fi stuff. I think I should be fine now.
You're clear but low.
That might be my headphones. Hold on, I got my headphones on. What about now?
Oh yeah, much better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely outrageous, egregious, everything between. I personally think FBA is the perfect term to describe Black Americans, to be honest. And like you said, when you hear it, you do know that they on gatekeeping time. We on gatekeeping time. You know that we on B1 lineage business. We stand on lineage business. So I think that's also why funny enough, there's so much like propaganda trying to go against you. That things like Deontay Cal, we was just talking about a little while ago, putting out all of this propaganda to go against the term. So people, when people hear this, it's like a trigger, like, oh, it's one of those MAGA guys. It's one of those, because they know that when really, those who really know about FBA and the meaning of it, you know that when you hear somebody say FBA, like we on code. You understand there's a different language that we speak in that so okay, So yeah, I think FBA should be the term. I mean, I like Solon too, I like Friedman. But either way, Black Americans, we do got to come together to decide on a fucking term. We definitely got to come together to decide on something immediately as soon as possible. I think FBA should be the term, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't try to get cherry picky. When people come up and we ask for their ethnicity and their background and all that, if they say they're Solon, they say they're Black, I'm like, okay, all right. As long as we know where you're coming from, fine. But however, we're starting 2026. This is Black History Month of 2026. We can make a lot of progress for the community this year. However, there's a lot of confusion that we're going to have to get nipped in the bud. So everybody's using different terms, and I mean, okay, I will respect your decision and your prerogative. However, everybody is treating their terms as if they're different ethnic groups. Like I'm not FBA. I'm a Solon. I'm not FBA. Okay. Everybody's trying to act like this is a clique, and everybody got their own little clique and inner circle and all of that, and their own ideology. These terms don't come with ideologies. Okay, they're just one term. It would make the most sense. We would be the most effective if we could agree on one term, or at least a couple of them. Now, in my opinion, as well as ZZ's opinion, I do think that foundational Black American is not only the most powerful term. You get a sense of power when you hear that term. Also, it is quite literally the most accurate term, in my opinion, the most clear-cut term, in my opinion. All right.
Exactly. Simply specific, honestly. And to your point too, with I think that's a part of ego as well. Everybody and their mama would act like they created the term that's going to be, or that needs to be, we need to go with their flow. And a part of that is the reason why people don't like FBAs. I mean, don't like the term FBA because they don't like Tariq. Let's just be honest. They don't like Tariq. So they want to just mark off anything he says as negative or unproductive for Black people. So we got to be honest about that too. This is an ego thing. You just don't like Tariq. He ain't got nothing to do with your lineage. Nigga, you part of lineage or not. Okay, that shouldn't, your feelings for Tariq shouldn't have anything to do with it. But unfortunately, it does.
Yeah. Real talk. That's true. We wait. If everybody can tap the screen real quick, I greatly would appreciate that. Go to For the Culture, and y'all follow on For the Culture as well too. Since BX is, handling something, she'll be here shortly. So what we're going to do, hold on. What we're going to do is I'm going to briefly give the decorum. When you come in, state your ethnic group, okay? Which is where your family lineage is from. I don't want to hear, I was born in America, so I'm a African American. No, you're not. That's not how that works. Okay, state where your family lineage is from. All right. You can only be in a conversation if you're over 18. That's just what it is. No offense. That's the rules. When you come in, use TikTok friendly language, say like YT, hard candy, deletion, all of that stuff. If you don't know a word that could be sensitive or triggering, just spell it out and we'll get it. but we got to codify our language as much as possible. Also, because there's a lot of people who want to come up, I often have to, cycle the panel out. Don't feel no type of way about it. If I will let you speak. But if you spoke and then I have to drop you to bring somebody up, that doesn't mean I didn't like what you said or have anything against you. That means I'm just trying to get as many voices in the conversation as possible. All right.
All right.
So, yep. Let's get to King.
Hey, how y'all doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm okay. Let me start off. I am a foundational Black American.
All
Um,
right.
and why do folks dislike the term foundational Black American? It's just because you, it's kind of like the perfect term because you can't leech off it. You can't remix it. You can't cosplay it. Even if you have brown skin, you can't cosplay off it. You can't infiltrate it. So the first word, foundational, it already right there, foundational, which means the grassroots, which means the start, the beginning. You once that word is said, it has a clear cut of who it's talking about. So, and a lot of people don't like that. And another thing is, Dr. Claude Anderson, he said this a while ago. He used a different term. He said we should drop the African and put Native Black Americans. Right? I mean, I wasn't against that, but foundational or native, however you want to go about it, he's clearly talking about people who have lineage that traces back to the 17 and 1600s and even
Mm,
further beyond if you can get the records.
mm,
People still go to family reunions. Everything is on record. This is not something that's hard to find, right? And remember, we was classified as property. People documented their property. So it's not really hard to go back and see like where you come from. But I think people have an issue with it because it didn't come from an outside source. It didn't come from some Jesse Jackson type individual. It came from the people. Like it's like if somebody doesn't give us something and you do something on your own, a lot of people is always going to have an issue with that,
mm.
especially if they can't latch on to it and cosplay off it. That's what a big issue is. And the delineation thing, one more thing, the delineation thing, I don't care what state you're in America. If you see somebody with a Barbados flag or Trinidadian flag on their window or their headrest, that's automatically delineating right there. Without saying a word, you're already delineated, showing I'm not like you. This is where I'm from. There's no problem with that, by the way. But it seems to be an issue when we do it because we're kind of, I guess we're new to gatekeeping like everybody else do. So it's
Mm.
making everybody uncomfortable. They just gonna have to get used to it. Oh well. But I land.
That's hey, real talk, real talk. Thank you for that, because that is a point. They proudly celebrated their holidays and had their flags and all of that stuff, and it's never an issue. That doesn't cause a diaspora war or anything like that. The stuff that we do causes a diaspora war. If they do it, it's fine. It's just them respecting their culture and all that. Okay, it's completely double standard. All right, let's get to HD Live.
Hey, Afro, what's going on, Afro?
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
All right. Listen, man, I believe point blank, like everybody else said, man, the jig is up. They just upset that, the tree of forgetfulness ain't work. You dig? I believe that I believe they're getting hostile. I believe I believe once we get back with the committee hearings, I believe they will come out and want to protest. So I mean, I get it. Y'all don't, y'all saying that y'all don't want no hostility, but I feel like that's what's going to come. I mean, to a degree, maybe not, you know, maybe not like overtly, but covertly, they gonna do things, man. Like, you already got people in politics already basically saying, who cares what y'all say? Like, this is still because I don't know if y'all saw. I think one of y'all. I don't know if it was you, Afro, but breaking down the Republican ladies and the Democrat ladies breaking down reparations. Was that you?
Um,
I believe that was you.
maybe, I'm
Was
not
that
okay.
black? I don't know, but one of y'all broke down how like they like y'all broke down how they still might it's just the conversation is still some playing the fence type of thing. So yeah, they respecting the fact that we going by this term or we going by this whatever, like, but it's like they still trying to find a way to fight it. So it's like, what are we really talking about? Like, do y'all want to fight us or do y'all want to fight the ideology? Like, or do y'all want to fight the lineage? Like, cause y'all, it seems like y'all want to fight us. Like,
Yeah, folks is triggered, brother. Folks is really bothered. Let me make sure I get to everybody real quick though. Uh, thank you. Yeah, folks is bothered. Folks don't even know why they bothered. They just bothered. Let's get to because you were. I don't know why they put you down here because normally they go up. Let's get to the bold lion.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, I'm 47 years old, Nigerian American. I grew up here my whole life. My whole thing is, when I hear Black American, African American, how we've heard for the past I don't know how long, it's cool. It's like, okay, we understand that the Black people that were here in America, started slavery, and we're here now. But the term FBA, it sounds, it's very, what it is like when I hear that term, it's like I just see a black uh KK double triple K hood.
My brother, let me step in. This guy
No,
is
hold
Hold
on,
on, hold on,
no,
delusional.
hold on one
no,
He
second,
has
no,
man.
no father.
no,
He's a
no.
fatherless.
Stop. No,
Hello?
stop. Don't. Okay, let me show y'all. Make
You are a
in.
bastard. You don't have a father.
Okay, no. You know what? And we're gonna make an example out of you because that's not how we do here. We don't do that here. Okay. All of that. Let me step in. Let me cut in. You're not a mod. No. Okay. So we don't do that here. Say what you elaborate on what you're gonna say. Elaborate because
Yes,
I want to
sir.
respond to that.
Sure, sure, sure. What I hear when I hear the term FBI, just what comes in my mind is a black triple K hood, like how Kanye West had when he was getting interviewed. I see that because the first thing is like, oh, where you from? Who were you? Who you with? What's your ancestry and all this type of thing. If you guys are going around doing it like that, who is an FBA? You see what I mean? What you guys are like chopping off the
Now,
history, right? Hold on, wait. It's just like Obama, right? He was a YT mom, right? And
mhm.
a Kenyan dad. So are you trying to say that you haven't had your first black president because he's not FBA? I mean, what is the whole? I just don't get it.
No, okay. Glad that you said that. And this is the thing. Do you know?
And answer
First
the
off,
Obama
hold
thing for
on.
me too.
Okay, you
Thanks,
landed.
appreciate
You
it. Yeah,
landed. So
I
we're
did.
going to respond to what you said. To be very honest, it is very distasteful and disrespectful that you would compare foundational Black Americans to the Triple K. 100%. The Triple K were out there actively taking people's lives away. We're not doing anything of the sort whatsoever.
No,
We're not
y'all too.
advocate. Hold on, don't do that. Don't do that. We're not advocating for the harm of anybody. We're not justifying the harm of anybody. We're not condoning the harm of anybody, whether they're in America or abroad. We don't do that, period. So the fact that you're comparing us to a literal organization of bigots who would go out and hunt people is completely disrespectful and disingenuous. Okay? Nobody is doing anything to you, at least not us. We are not doing anything to you whatsoever for you to make a comparison like that, period. Okay? And then you're saying because you don't like confusion, you don't like, well, what about Obama? What? First off, this ain't got nothing to do with Obama, all right? we're asking you for your papers. No, we're not asking you for your papers. Now, when we have a conversation, and I'm gonna tell you why, we do ask where people's family's background is from. The reason why is because you'll have people such as yourself, and other immigrants who will come in and they will start influencing conversations when they don't have a lineage tie to the conversation. All right. You will have people, hold on, like Candace Owens, like Coleman Hughes, like Brian Donalds, like Myron Gaines, like, and I can go down the list, who will get up on the platform and argue against reparations, even though they don't have any claim to reparations in America. They don't. But they will get on the platform and argue against it and be like, hey, I am an African American too. I'm an African American. Myron Gaines said that. When we try to check him, he'll be like, I'm an African American. Okay? But Myron is Sudanese. So this is why this is why it's important. Roland Martin, another one. This is why it's important for us to distinguish and have full context and transparency of where people are coming from. Because I couldn't go to Nigeria and engage in any of their political conversations as an American. They wouldn't. I can't be all like, hey, I'm Nigerian too. I couldn't, and it doesn't matter how long I was there. I couldn't be in there and then act as if I have the authority to speak on behalf of their community or represent their community. You know for a fact y'all wouldn't even let that happen. And I know Nigerians, trust me. I know when it comes to Nigerian tribes, y'all don't even let other tribes speak for you. Y'all wouldn't even want a tribe from outside of your own tribe to speak on behalf of your tribe. So you damn sure is not going to let a Black American speak on behalf of your tribe and your country. But we have other people coming over here speaking on behalf of our country, our claim, our history, and all of that stuff, and then bastardizing it like exactly what you did, comparing us to the Triple K. So this is why we make a distinction. You just proved the reason why we do that.
Can I
I have a
respond?
cough drop, y'all. Just so sorry about that. But yeah. So that's the reason. But we got to get to some other speakers, okay?
Sure.
I'm gonna have to actually drop you because I got to bring up BX. Right.
Actually, that's a fact.
BX, how you doing? Already getting stuff started.
Yeah. I'm on for the culture. You got a premiere going, and then you want to go live.
Yeah, we multitasking, BX. We multitasking.
Well, they was, adding me on YouTube, so I'm over there just typing away and whatnot. And I said, oh shit, let me check and see what happened with Afro. And here you are live already. So I see the topic. Why folk? Did you give your monologue? Did you see me feedback? How we get to the
Yes,
Nigerian?
ma'am.
Yeah, we was he was the second speaker. No, the third speaker. So we kind of been in here for a minute. Not a minute, but we've been in here for like what, maybe 10, 15, maybe.
Yeah, not great.
And my thing says Afro shared the live to me 6 minutes ago. And what I was telling you yesterday is that they send the invites out to your live, at least to me, kind of late. Because I didn't get the one from TikTok to come into the room. That's why I was on for the culture, cutting up on YouTube. So let me see what we have here. Why folk dislike the term foundational Black American? They can't tether onto it. It makes the distinction that we are more than what white tea tell them that we are, that we descend from greatness, and that we never had to migrate out just to make things shake for us. And we still have the largest collective net worth and spending power out of, I'm going to say, the melanated, ethnic groups, right? So it's a lot of envy going on there, and a lot of them have a disdain for us that started in their homelands. I'm tired of emphasizing them, saying, oh, they just don't know no better. Like, come on, they know enough to scam a motherfucker, right? I do believe that something's wrong with their comprehension. They can't basically grasp things as fast as us, but they take white tea people at their word. And even when they take an African American history course, they still can't relate to it. Have you seen the Somalians appropriating our struggle to talk to whatever Congress or whatever council is out there? Exactly. They lack emotion. Why? They're not connected to this soil. So they're not loyal to their soil. They're not connected to ours. They're just envious of that we got to do a lot of things. And saying foundational means they can't tether on and say, you came from us, we contributed. They can't do that with foundational Black Americans.
All right, let's
Agree.
get to the next person in line. We have some more people drop off, jump on. So we'll have Jupe Nip.
Yes, that's me. That stands for Jupiter and Neptune together. That's JupeNet. Yep,
Okay.
good job. I'm Black American, foundational Black American FBA. My roots are in Georgia and North Carolina. So, my personal thinking is I'm sort of piggybacking on what I've heard different people say. I think the issue with the term foundational Black American is that it prevents immigrant groups from tethering on to the foundational Black American story. They're really obviously scared of the current occupant of the White House. And by FBA clearly stating that we're foundational Black Americans, it makes it hard for them to tether upon us, cosplay us, and have us go out here and fight for them and protest for them. So that's one of the reasons they don't like the term. And then I think, Afro, that you mentioned about how some of these politicians who are not FBA, that they resent that we are FBA and that we were, and I think Bronx said something about if your family was on the 1870 census, they resent that they don't have that background because they know one day, someday, we're going to get reparations, and they know they're not going to get it. And I think they resent that. That's my personal view. I think it's about money, position, status, things like that. And I don't know. I may be wrong, but that's what I think.
Well, I
Thank you
appreciate
for
your
allowing me
opinion.
to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your opinion. Thank you very much. We're going to get to Raw Sports Radio and then Mr. Seth.
All right, how you doing?
Good.
You
How
hear
you
me?
doing? How you doing? Yep.
All right. He definitely, yeah. I'm from North Carolina. My roots are from really the Gullah, the Gullah corridor, from Georgetown, Anderson, all the way up to Wilmington. I know you heard about the 1898
Uh-huh.
massacre and everything, but yeah, my concern with the term FBA, which I don't think it excludes enough people. Because if you came over here from Africa and you were imported, after the 1776, then that makes you an FBA. And I feel like we should be considering ourselves indigenous Americans. Because
Okay.
even when you look up the term American in the 1828 Webster's dictionary, it says an American, native to American. It says that an Aboriginal or copper-colored people found here by the Europeans. So that excludes everybody who are part of the, even the foundation of the country, even no matter what color you were. You know what I'm saying? We were here from the beginning, and that excludes the so-called Native Americans,
But let
which
me.
a lot of them came from. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna let you. Okay, I'm gonna let you land because I do want to respond to what you have to say. So I'm gonna let you land. I'm gonna let you finish your statement.
I was just saying that excludes any person who might be, Native American who came from Siberia, or the
Okay.
Philippine Mexicans who came from the Manila galleon slave trade. Anybody dark skinned that try to crossplay, I mean, that excludes all of them because. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
So before, because there's a little background noise in your background. Okay. What I see the flaw in that is that if we're going to say the cutting point is 1776 because that was the official founding of the country, there were slaves imported here before 1776. They were shipping slaves from 1619, from the year 1619. So how would we would have to go back farther than 1776. We would have to go back all the way to 1619. And then that's
Absolutely
hundreds.
agree.
Hold on, brother. There's hundreds of years, centuries of mixing of different peoples, centuries of mixing and centuries of ethnogenesis. How would we be able to filter through and comb through the ones that do have some? Because the thing is, it's not like they had African slaves over here and indigenous slaves over here. Y'all was just slaves. So the scrutiny comes like, where would you comb through? How would you be able to filter through and comb through and pick out the ones who have African ancestry and leave the ones that have indigenous ancestry? How would one be able to do that? Going back farther than 1619, which was, you would have to literally go back farther than that. And then with that being the case, what are the people who were bought here during the building of America? You know what I'm saying? It's like that goal that's like non-feasible. That's like an impossible goal to reach, really. I feel like we should stick to, and what we all can agree with. Hey, what's up, Adonis? That's my brother Adonis. Okay. I'm gonna use one of your clips for my YouTube thing tonight, actually. Shout out to Adonis. What we can all agree on, though, and I think we should all focus on, is who built the country. Okay, we built the country. Okay, the country we built the country, our lineage built the country, and if we focus on the lineage of the foundation, the lineage of the people who built the country, going back and trying to go further back in time to the people who were first here, that's like an impossible mission, really, at this point in time. And to be honest, then where does that leave us when it comes to the conversation of reparations? So if the people who were imported here in the 1790s, they don't get reparations? Like, do they get different reparations? Where would that leave the reparations conversation if we start combing through and doing, really, in my opinion, an unnecessary filter? So I'm asking you that. I'm trying to see, what do you think about that?
I mean, you went off on all of that, but the word indigenous clearly, defines itself. It goes back to the beginning, and before the slave trade. For one, they took this land from it was a corporate takeover, so they took this land from the indigenous Black Americans, as you said, from over here, right? So they took the land and they enslaved us, so we was prisoners of war. So most Africans weren't even slaves over here. So it still applies to us, and they can do DNA tests based on our bloodline. I mean,
brother, no, that's not gonna work, brother. That's not good.
So
What you're saying is not incorrect. Hold on. What you're saying is not
exactly what his point is.
What you're saying is not incorrect. I get what you're saying, but the thing is that as far as doing a DNA test, you have to understand, you would have to go back centuries in time. Plus, these people were mixed in. They didn't import Africans and then not have them enslaved. You would have to do a whole bunch of blood quantums and all of that stuff. That, to be honest, to get that science right, I don't see it being possible, personally. I don't see it being, and I don't see it really being effective.
Moment before you respond, Roy. Before you respond, is he bringing up the intra-America slave trade? Is that what he's doing, like the Dutch when they were transporting ancestors back and forth?
I'm gonna let it. I don't think. Are you? I don't think he is. Are you?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. I'm gonna let you respond to that, and then we're gonna move on. I appreciate the fact that we can agree and still be cordial and all that.
Oh yes, sir. I just don't. I don't know why that word indigenous triggers so many people, because they know they don't qualify. A lot of people come from Africa and they came during the foundation, during this country, while this country was being built. You know what I'm saying? Even after 1776, but not many were here before the slave trade or during the slave trade. That's before the foundation of the country also. So I feel like it should go back further.
Okay.
Trace that through racism.
Okay. Well, that's that. My
Okay, then.
okay.
All right.
All right. Well, that's where you stand on it. We're just getting everybody's thing. That well, I'm not even trying to have a one-on-one debate. That's where he stands on the situation. That's where he
He want
stands
us to
on it.
delineate from each other. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and that's what I'm saying.
What the hell?
Where would the cutting
No,
point
no,
be?
I'm
Where would the
not.
date? My question is, where would the date be? Because you said 1776. Well, there were slaves
It was the
imported
term
here before
FBA.
1776, though. So how far back will we have to go to say if your family doesn't go back this far, you're not indigenous? Where will we go then?
Listen, so the earliest recordings we have of slaves being transported in here is 1619.
Hmm.
That's what we know that. So but you know what I'm saying. So I mean, at least let that be the point. I mean, and majority of the blacks were already here, so I don't see why y'all think that the Americas were populated from the slave trade. I don't get why y'all believe in that. And the sister just said that I'm trying to separate us. No, absolutely not.
No, but it is.
Don't count
Said
yourself
delineate.
out.
So go ahead.
Don't count yourself out.
But wait. You know what it is? We've covered all of this. We literally covered all of this. And so y'all want to go back to a time period where the United States of America didn't exist. So I'm speaking in the manner of reparations, right? Indigenous does not intimidate me. I'm gonna keep it anecdotally, right? What I have a problem with is because indigenous has two meanings, right? So it does mean those who built the country, who predates the country and built the country, right? They would be indigenous to this land. However, when you start going past certain time periods, then you're talking about a time that the U.S. didn't exist. So if we're speaking about reparations or anything that we want to be given or demanded to us because of U.S. chattel slavery, we got to go after the U.S., not the British, not I think Africa owes, right? So I kind of get what you're saying. We're not intimidated by the word indigenous, but the reparationists, us on these panels, we literally went over this a long time ago, and the dates that we have stick so that those who descend from free people, right? Free black people, those who descend from just indigenous, and those who descend from the captives brought here, which was the least amount out of the whole transatlantic slave trade. Brazil got the most, will all be included because they all were here during one period of time through U.S. chattel slavery era. We're trying not to leave anybody out and go after the proper government. And when you
Yeah.
go, yeah, that's all. That's
Yeah,
all, Lord.
when I know you feel like we have an issue
Never,
with the no, I'm what you're saying is different from what we're saying. I know you feel as if we have an issue with the word indigenous. We don't have an issue with the word indigenous. What we're talking about is as far as empowering the community in the conversation of reparations, we're going to really muddy the water if we say, okay, now we got to go back instead of to the census during slavery, we got to go back hundreds of years all the way till prior to 1619 and say, well, those are a whole new ethnic group. And then the imported Africans are a new ethnic group. So there are two new ethnic groups, and both these ethnic groups were slaves and built America. And they are old reparations, but that would be a different claim. So it would muddy the waters. And to be honest, as I said, I don't even think that that's really even a feasible thing to really even try to accomplish, to be honest with you, in my opinion. But we can agree to disagree, but we are going to have to move on though. We're not arguing. We're just going to agree
oh,
to
you don't
disagree.
think they owe us from taking the country from us? You don't think
No,
they owe us for that?
I didn't say that. But I'm talking about if we go to reparations, we got to go for specific dates, for specific issue, for specific grievance, right? And right now there's a claim and there's a movement for reparations, that there's a lot of people who are coming and trying to, or not trying to, but are coming and they have ideas and ideologies that are muddying the waters of that. And that's, I think, what you're saying. I don't think honestly that you are intending to do it, but what I'm trying to tell you is that that idea that we should now separate and comb through our lineage to get the all of the quote unquote African ones out and keep the indigenous ones in, I don't really see that as being very feasible, because you can't do it through DNA. That's not going to work. So you would have to comb through. But even if we were able to comb through, that would make reparations more complicated, make the achievement of reparations that more complicated.
All right, thank you, man.
Thank you. All right, let's get to Mr. Seth. Mr. Seth. All right, let's get to
Hey, oh, sorry.
man. Every time you do that, every time, Mr. Seth, you do that
Not
every
every time.
time. Every time I'm
Every
about to
time.
move on, you sorry. His finger was over the button the whole time. When I said Mr. Seth, he's like, I'm gonna get him this time. I'm gonna get him. You do that every time. I know it.
It's all good, brother. No, I'm FBA native black, like Dr. Claude, got, relatives Gullah in South Carolina. So, hey, I'm all in the game 100%. We more alert these days. We always been alert, but we more alert out loud. And, we ain't getting involved in all this other stuff because every time we get ourselves caught up in other people's, let's say, I ain't gonna say mess, but other people's dilemmas, we always getting the raw deal out of it. The civil rights movement, we got the least of it. It was the average white woman getting the civil rights. And the DEI, only 4% of BLK got the benefits of it. So it's not, and then when they come over from these other countries, they get money from these other countries because they handpicked, they set up their own shop, and then they want to isolate themselves, and they never comes out to our rally, never come out to it. They come into our hoods. I don't know what big, whether it's a huge city like Chicago, Detroit, NYC, whatever, or a small hick town, foreigners, they all over our neighborhoods, and they give very little back. They take, but they give very little back. And my dad, he's 80 years old. I'm 40, and he said when he was growing up, he said black businesses were thriving. And he said around 70s, 80s, they started to decrease, and now he said, it's hard pressed to even find one. And these are elder black people, like my uncles and everything. So, yeah, we're more alert, and we should take advantage of our skill set because we got the best skill set. We are the trendsetters. Everything flows off us, and if we, keep that in mind, hey, we'll be on time. And I think this is a good start of doing it out loud. We always knew it, but, we do it out loud and keep on, that's why they're intimidated by that, so that's my thoughts.
Real talk. Thank you. Jaw, let me see. Jaw, you ain't got a block. Hold on. Jaw, I want you to come up. I want you to come up and talk to us. Don't troll in the chat room, though. Come up.
Ja is a troll. So this
Ja's
isn't the first time that she has. Yeah, she is.
Okay.
She has been trolling since I've been on other panels about a few weeks ago. So she does troll FBA spaces. And I want to tell you, a lot of FBA spaces are compromised. There are American Indians coming in our rooms, calling us slow, telling us that the 13th Amendment wasn't for us. So hopefully we'll be lucky with the 14th. Like, it's like really weird, and they're really acting just like tethers, just like the other immigrants who come up here trolling us, and I just don't understand why they're not doing the work for what it is they want. This is more of an influx than I've seen it in my years on this app, and it's really annoying because if we're in FBA safe spaces only talking to us and never talking about them, and here they come, just running them up. It's annoying.
Well, okay. Well, I know now. If y'all want to come up, thank you, BX. Thank you, though. If y'all want to come up, just hit the request button at the end of your screen, at the bottom of your screen. Hit the request button to come up.
You can drop me down.
Gotcha. Appreciate you. Let's get to KD1.
What's up, Afro? What's up, panel? How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing, bro? How you doing?
Shoot, I can't complain. Wanted to briefly touch on. You okay? Okay. Want to briefly touch on the indigenous thing real quick myself, because it's funny because I just made a video. Shout out to Big Nephew, because he is one of the family who goes under the banner of Indigenous, and this is what I say, right? Because like we using different words to essentially describe the people that we are now in this present time, right? So the way I see it is this: foundational is structural, because we're talking about the people who built the country. You can't build any kind of structure without laying the foundation first. Foundation is structural, or foundational is structural. Indigenous is anthropological. Both of them are accurate. You know what I'm saying, to describe us as a people. Now, and I'm gonna touch on the black part as well, because some of our family who strictly go under the banner of indigenous, they got a problem with black naturally, right? Black is a term that we have accepted and embraced for empowerment and endearment amongst one another. My black brother, my black sister, black power, black love. You know what I mean? It's just like a nickname almost that your family gives you. You know what I'm saying? You will accept the nickname that your family gives you, because that's how you recognize in your family. But when you're filling out government documentation, you're gonna put your real name. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna put your real name down. So it's it's a time and a place for everything. So no, as foundational Black Americans, like y'all said, we don't reject indigenous identity at all. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, though, we do recognize that some hyper emphasis on some of our ancestors did come over from the African continent. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Now, with regards to why the term foundational Black American bothers people who ain't family, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make that distinction. Why it bothers the haters who ain't family is because like y'all said, they can't latch on to it, and it also is a very dignifying term. It's very dignifying. Like, just listen to the connotation. It's like, nigga, I'm foundational. Who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like that piece, and it dignifies and it distinguishes, and it also indicates that we are secure in our identity as Black Americans. Like because when we were under the concept of flat blackness or Pan-Africanism, like probably 90% of the delineation movement was prior to delineation. When we was under the thought process of Pan-Africanism or any thought process adjacent to it, we saw Africa as the motherland. You know what I'm saying? And if Africa is the motherland and you not there, when a child is away from his mom or lost, that's part of the narrative too. We supposed to be lost Africans. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you lost, you're going to be insecure, right? So if we was looking at ourselves as lost Africans, when we come across some tethers got this superiority complex almost. Is like, yeah, you might be African Americans because you lost, but I'm the real African. So you should learn from me. But now delineation breaks that spell and has us confident in who we are, confident in our ethnic identity, and we owning everything that our people have contributed to society and the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, you can't claim hip hop. No, you can't even claim modern civilization. And I ain't saying this to be an asshole, but it's true. Foundational Black Americans are the mothers and fathers of modern day civilization. You got toilets, helicopters, irrigation systems, stoves, ovens, telephones. You want to run it down the line? That's all foundational Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I'll land.
All right, that's appreciate that. Appreciate you. We got a lot of people still in here. If y'all could do me the solid and the favor of tapping the screen real quick, everybody tap the screen. Make sure y'all follow. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button.
I just want to say we are definitely the foundation for the world. That's a fact. That's a moreover why the term foundational period is perfect for our lineage. But yeah, for sure.
All right, appreciate it. We're gonna have to cycle some people through, but I appreciate everybody. I'm not saying you can't come back up, but we try to get as many people in as possible. So hold on. Okay, let's get now. Now we're gonna get to Bookish.
Hey BX, hey Afro. I'm on the black hand side black. But what I want to say is more than anything, all of the things that everyone else has said is true. But what we need to do is get to the psychology of it and the visceral reaction to people saying FBA. It makes them do such crazy irrational things and say such irrational things, like that gentleman that was up here calling us KKK members. Just the visceral reaction to it is basically psychological too. You are afraid of losing the identity that you latched on to because you don't care anything about your true identity. Us
Mm,
calling ourselves foundational Black American is snatching what you have held to be true for so long, you don't know how to go back. You have no idea how to operate in society without pretending and latching on and being someone else. That's terrifying to some people because they've hinged their whole life and their whole identity on ours. So, us calling ourselves foundational is claiming something and dispelling something else, which is the pretenders. So that's what it is. It's really a visceral. That's why they have such a visceral reaction, such abject hatred when they're talking about us,
mm-hmm.
and they'll do anything and say anything to try to dispel it, to try to stop it, to try to say, "Oh my gosh." They'll lie, steal, kill, chill. Excuse me. Almost to make us not call ourselves that. The second thing is fear. Because when we say we're foundational Black American, what we're doing is unifying. And if you know anything about us, when we get something in our heads and we get determination, and history will tell you that with everything, all of these people that are being janky to us are benefited from, is when we get together and we unify, we get stuff done.
Mm.
And when we say we name and claim ourselves, when we say this, we're not saying everybody. They know we're just talking about ourselves. So for the first time in history, they know when we're going to get ourselves together and we're going to put these boots on the ground, it's just going to be for us. And that's really and truly the root of it all, in my opinion. And I'll land.
All right, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. We got a lot of people still want to come up and speak. Thank you very much. I thank you. Um, but let me just harp on what she said real quick. That's what I was talking about earlier. When people say foundational Black American, you already know that person is going to be on a different type of time. Okay, the word foundational Black, or the term foundational Black American, is synonymous with people who are delineating. Okay, now the FBA is not a movement, it's a lineage, but it is synonymous. The people who use the term foundational Black American are synonymous with people who delineate, and they have an issue with delineation, the whole movement and concept of it. Okay, because they benefit from us not doing that. All right, so they have, a like she said, a visceral reaction, like this knee-jerk hatred, like, oh my God, y'all are evil, because we're messing up their bag. Really, what they've been used to, what they've been so accustomed to, we're messing that up for them. But I'm not gonna be too long. Y'all know I can go on and on and on and on, which I will do on YouTube tonight. Y'all make sure y'all follow. Shameless plug. All right, let's get to Patrick.
Hey, what up, Afro? What up, panel? I'm Foundation of Black American out of Chicago. All right, so to answer the prompt, why folks dislike the term Foundation of Black American? Because it wasn't introduced by some great
Brother,
big
can you
thing.
pick the phone up and take it with you, brother? What's going on?
Oh, I'm fading in and fading out?
Yeah,
Okay.
you kind of, I can
Oh,
hear you walking around the room, brother.
okay, my fault. Hey, so
Okay.
so we so we all know, y'all, the bu- the bourgeoisie didn't think that we had it in us to create and promote a label for ourselves. They didn't think that if it's not coming out of one of these great big legacy organizations or anything like that, they try to invalidate it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, some of y'all pastors are a problem too. So keep an eye on pastor. Also, Afro, I'm so glad, man, that you brought up the divide between us and the indigenous, because ever since this started, all we've been seeing is right? Because we're trying to get repair for our people. What's been going on with the indigenous wants to take what we have already in motion, put the brakes on reverse, add on another chapter, and then present it so it complicates things more. You know what I'm saying? Because now you done added on a whole nother timeline, right? To what we're already working on. Now you adding to more study. They already using studies as an excuse. Now you add more study, and then who's mixed in with this other study? The $5 Indians, right? You know what I'm saying? The so-called natives, right? So now you done created an even longer fight, right? You know what I'm saying? Now it went from 10 rounds to 15 rounds because, you know what I'm saying, you couldn't just take your reparations, right, and say, well, I got my reparations. Let me organize, you know what I'm saying, another movement to get my land back now. You know what I'm saying? Because now I have the resources. I got what I need. You know what I'm saying? But instead they want to destroy the whole thing for every last one of us. And that's a problem. That's something that we really should look at. I'll land there. Thank you.
Yeah, that's I think a thing too, as far as something we got to talk about, because there is an intersection, right? I appreciate you, and let me bring some more people up real quick. Thank you, Patrick. That's my Chicago brother. There's an intersection though of people, and because what we're talking about is people whose lineage goes back to American chattel slavery, and then you have some other people who's talking about people who were here before slavery. All right. And even though there's an intersection, because the people who are here before slavery eventually became slaves, everybody who was a slave was not here before slavery. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of muddying the waters and making what is really simple very complicated. Okay. You're making it's unnecessary complications. That's ultimately, I don't even see how it's solvable. And it's ultimately going to make the whole mission drag out indefinitely with really no end, because there would be no end to that argument of us trying to comb it. I don't see any end to that argument, and there doesn't even need to be. Honestly, that's not even a beneficial path to go down, or a necessary question. We already got enough spinning plates. We don't need any more. You know what I'm saying? We're juggling enough right now. We don't need any more stuff. You know, we're handling it well, in my opinion. I think what we're doing is good, and we need to just keep doing that. All right. Let's get to.
So can I make a quick announcement?
All right.
Before you drop your merch link in the chat, can you ask the host if it's okay? I even asked about certain links that I could drop. Please notice, I don't drop my merch link. And I ain't even asked yet. It's just common share courtesy. And don't spam it if you get away with it one time. Like, that is really rude.
Yeah.
Also, this is an FBA room. The Indigenous have their own room. So we don't just do just Indigenous topics. Please stop annoying me today. Press the like button. Marshall's on the panel. He'll tell you about his platform and the things that he talk about that may be more in alignment with just Indigenous topics, or who could help y'all. Because this is a lot, you know. He's like, oh, you got to put the Indigenous on. Paper G side and all that. We get it. But today we're talking about why folks dislike the term foundational Black American. You missed the live where we actually had a mediation between us and the American Indians. So please leave us alone and find a panel that's talking about that topic today. But stop spamming those links if you didn't get permission, please.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't see it, but don't do that. Don't do that.
And please like the live, complete your daily heart meets, and also gift goals and subscription plans. All right, I'll mute up.
That's true. All right, let's get to Helga.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
How you doing? Thank you for pulling me up. I wasn't going to come up until I saw the gentleman, I think he's down now, Raw, who was discussing how there needs to be a separation between the indigenous bloodlines versus the bloodlines that were brought to America during slavery. As someone who would consider myself a foundational Black American, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. However, my mother's family, I've traced them back to Mobile, Alabama, and my father's to South Carolina. I think that argument is counterproductive. As someone who hated math, but I had to stick it out through college to get through college, simple mathematics will tell you that just 11 generations back, we already have thousands of great grandparents. And even if we do count things like inbreeding that did take place, the forced inbreeding and things like that, it doesn't make sense why we would not include both bloodlines in the foundation. And as someone who's appreciated the light that the foundational Black American has brought to the forefront lately, that's a kink that I see in the armor. I'm really not interested in having these kind of conversations in mixed company, but I mean, it is what it is. But when I started having people um, of our tribe say things like, well, no, you have to be indigenous, or those who were brought here aren't considered foundational, so they're not, they're not part of the quote unquote movement, it's very counterproductive. And I don't see how, I mean, just doing the math, do you mean to tell me that all 4,000, after 12 generations, you have over 4,000 great grandparents? Do you mean to tell me that all 4,000 of those great grandparents have not mixed with other bloodlines? It does not make sense, and it's counterproductive. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted people to kind of put things into perspective, because when we're dealing with math, it's universally. So I just want people to think about that before they try to start excluding people. There's no way that your bloodline stay indigenous after you've already had 4,000 plus great grandparents. That's only 12 generations. Let's not even start going back 15 and 16 generations. It does not make sense.
Yeah, at this point in time, we're in 2026. I mean, and now we're trying to do some type of blood quantum purity thing. Do you know how rare it's going to be for you to find anybody almost at this point in the world who's completely of one ethnicity with no other admixture going back at any point in time in history? You know what I'm saying? No European, no African, no nothing else admixture in the year of 2026. And to find that, some people are like, no, you can't. Listen, okay, let's not, come on. And that just adds way more weight to carry up a steep hill that we're already climbing right now.
Agreed. But that's all I want to say, and thank you so much. I'm enjoying the live, but I'm going to get down so someone else can come up.
Well, yeah, thank you for your opinion. Thank you very much, sister. I appreciate that. Let's get you in Kosi.
In Kosi, yes, sir. Hey, I'm look. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm a Pan African. I'm gonna give respect the way y'all moving, because y'all not like the Wabos. The Wabos came out attacking all of our ancestors, and they wasn't attacking the supremacists. But y'all actually acknowledge the
It's no name, but it's no need
atrocities.
for the name calling though, brother. You don't have to call them Wabos. There's no name for
Oh
that.
yeah. But I'm the one that created that term for them,
No,
because
I
they
feel
want to
you,
be.
but
They want to
there's no
be
need for
Aboriginal.
it, fam.
I got you.
Yeah, because that can start into an argument and all that, and we don't need.
Yeah, there's no need for all that. You can just say, the indigenous people that
Hey, look.
you felt the way.
But
Okay.
okay,
If Ab
yeah.
Howard,
So there's no need when nobody's insulting you, and you're not insulting nobody. But you can continue with your point, right?
yeah. But if a lot of the cats that was actually doing it, because they was actually doing this before Foundational Black America became a thing. You know what I mean? We've been going at it for years. We actually cool with each other. You know what I mean? But and they know how we get down. But anyway, so I'm start off. Wrote down a couple of points. One, the term Foundational Black
One
American
minute, you say
starts.
you're Pan African, but what's your ethnic group? Pan African is a ideology. What's your ethnic group?
My ethnic group would be African American.
You have any immigrants in your background?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. From what
I
country or
also got
island?
Europeans in my background. I got the actual African American bloodline and
Okay, hold on.
genealogy that happens here.
Let's be quick about it. We got to get to the
No,
point.
they keep stopping me. So
Is
the
it,
term
so
foundational. Go ahead.
Is anybody in your family, we're just trying to get information on you. Is anybody in your family, your mother's side or father's side, immigrated from another country to America?
Yes.
We're not talking about the slave trade. We're talking about people who left their country to become a citizen of America.
Okay, you talking about somebody that's of African descent that left and came here? Yes.
Okay.
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 So, all right. So the term foundational Black Americans starts in second place. It don't start first. And not only that, that place, as time go, steady drop from second class, falling to third place, because you got the Spanish that's coming over here, the Hispanics come over here and actually climbing above, the Asians come here climbing above. So it don't put you in the first place. When it was a sister up here, she spoke on, she said we need to unify. Well, that is Pan-Africanism. So when you think about Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism ain't everybody come together and be one bunch. Pan-Africanism is like the NBA. You still a Laker, you still a Chicago Bull, you still from the corner of the world you are from. You're organizing through NBA. That's what Pan-Africanism is. And what FBA is doing, saying that they want to delineate, and that was one of my things, how many times do you have to say delineate before you actually do it, is that now you saying that you want to move off and be in your own group when the United States of America, the superpower that was a single, that just was a monopolar world with this country that we're in, is going outside of her borders to go get resources. And you think that you're not going to have to go outside of FBA to get resources? And then when it was I talked about attack leaders. And as far as the bloodline, when the sister was talking about the bloodline, it actually it's kind of like a diamond shape. It starts small, and then as you breed, it get widened. And the bloodline here, it got wide because of the constant admixture. If we stop the admixture and we only start to deal within our ethnic group and actually form an ethnic group, that diamond will start to come down. Once it starts to come down and funnel down to the bottom, you'll start to have a phenotype that develop. There aren't any phenotypes that develop here. So for those that say they're indigenous, you don't look at somebody and say, yeah, you're from California. I could tell by you look, the way your ears, that don't happen. Nah,
Okay.
I'm from California, but
Okay.
I'm going to land there. You got
Okay.
it.
Let me, because those were like 3 points, right? Let me just ask you about, because I got comments on the second ones, but let me ask you about the first point. You said FBA is in second place, not in first place. Like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that?
So when you say foundational Black American, you saying that you was here at the foundation of the United States of America been formed, right?
We are the foundation. We are the descendants of the lineage of people who were the foundation of this country.
Okay. So were you the masters or the slaves?
We were the descendants of the slaves.
Descendants of the slaves. So that's not first place. So that even with ADOS, you're starting at second place. But that
Okay,
is understanding history.
All right. Talking
some
about
are
first
both.
place, second place. What?
Some are both, though. That's one.
Melanated
Some
people
are both.
across
Hold
the
on.
globe are in second place. What are you talking about, sir? White supremacy dominates
Okay.
the fucking globe. So yes,
so-
every person considered non-white is a fucking loser. What are we talking about?
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so when you say everybody's in second place, if you was to say the term Yoruba do not denote position. It's an actual ethnicity. Foundational Black American starts at a certain point that doesn't just denote. It is pretty much a space and time.
That shit sound like semantics.
It's a space and time. It's not a group of people.
Okay, let's get to the second point. Before we get to that, let me comment on the second point, because I see we're gonna be on that one for a little bit. Let me comment on the second point, right? Before I lose my train of thought. On the second point, as far as what, damn it, I lost my train of thought. Shit. Okay.
Can I point something out to you, Afro?
Okay, go ahead. Let me think about what I'm saying.
He was talking about it's like the NBA and you got everybody, these different teams, but it hasn't been working out in that manner where they have a winning team, right? So since the Pan-Africans are so unhappy and Africa looks like a shithole, I think the American team of Pan-Africanism should go to Africa.
I got it. Because here's the thing. As far as delineating, you all like, you want to delineate and you don't want to unify. Delineating by definition does not mean you cannot unify with other people. Let's use our words, okay? We're all mature adults here. I'm not gonna insult you, even though I'm a little confused with what you're saying. It does not mean that. All right. Delineating is only meaning that we're going to distinguish ourselves as our own ethnicity separate from other people's ethnicity. The same way everybody in Africa does it. Okay. That no Pan-African has an issue with. The same way everybody in the Caribbean does it. That nobody who's Pan-African has an issue with. The reason why you have this resistance and pushback for the idea of unity is because of the history we have of attempting unity and being rejected. Okay. So delineating is something that everybody in the world is doing. It's not something that, when are y'all going to delineate? I remember that. When are y'all going to delineate? It's already been done. Okay. Right now, we're just really trying to ferment that in the culture now. You understand what I'm saying? We're trying to get everybody on the same page right now. But technically speaking, we've been delineated because y'all delineated. Y'all came over here and made a very clear distinction that you guys are of a different group and of a different culture. And I'm not, you guys, as far as immigrants, okay, because you did say your family has immigrants in there. Y'all came and delineated. So technically, by definition, we've already done that. Right now is in a movement where we're acknowledging our delineation. Okay. And now we're doing so politically as well, too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, when are y'all going to do it? When are y'all going to do it? No, we're doing that because it's a necessity. Okay. It's a necessity so we can properly honor our ancestors, properly honor our culture and our heritage. All right. And our ethnicity the same way everybody else does. We're all this one big ethnicity that's untrue, and nobody else operates under those guys. Right.
So when the sister had mentioned, it's like it's not like FB and it didn't work. Well, that goes back to what Zizi had said, because of white supremacy, of constantly kicking over the anthill, so we constantly trying to rebuild the hill. In that phase of rebuilding the hill, we not going to span out and spread. But there's things that's happening on the planet right now you might want to be a part of. But now that you explained it like that, though, that delineation don't mean that you can't be a part of Pan-Africanism. That's understandable. So that means you're just going through the phases.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make this one more point, that
Okay.
there are things that FBA do online that's I consider like drive-bys, right? So when you had the gangs in LA delineating and want to be separate, and then you doing things like drive-by, it's gonna be hard for you to reunite.
Let's spell it out.
It's gonna be
Oh
hard.
my God.
Okay, here's the thing. Let's say there are things in around the world that we want to be a part of. Right now, we got our own thing going on. We got our own focus right now. We got our own mission right now. And everybody is trying to take us off of our mission. Okay, we got our own reparations. We got to get tangibles. We got to rebuild the community here, our home here, our life here. We already got a page we need to be on here. And everybody wants to come in and get us off that page, for us to never get back to that page. Everybody wants to, hey, y'all help us out over here. Y'all help us out over here. There's something you can do over here. Everybody's pulling us in every other direction, and we never get to focus on our community. Okay, we're out building everybody else's community, and then we come back to a dilapidated community, and everybody's fine with that. And we're not anymore. We're not fine with that no more. Okay, nobody's putting the investments in our community that people want in their community. And what we're saying is, okay, well, it's time for us to reprioritize where we put our energy, and that's going to be in our community right now. That's what it is. It's no hate. I hope y'all win over there, but we got stuff to deal with right here, right now.
No,
Okay.
we are actually everywhere.
No, when I say we, I mean our ethnicity.
No,
Okay.
I understand. You say y'all win over there. We're actually
When I
everywhere.
say y'all in that stuff, I mean ethnicity. When I say
Hmm.
y'all, I mean other people of
Oh,
other
okay, I got you.
ethnicities. You
I
know what I'm
got you.
saying?
Respect,
All
respect.
right. So that's what I'm saying. Nobody's wishing no harm. For you to use the term drive by, we're not hunting anybody. We're not doing anything to anybody. All we're saying is we got something over here going on. We're not going to allow anybody to manipulate us or shame us or gaslight us to get us off our page for their benefit, which is what has been going on for the longest time.
But when you say things like tether and bush meat, And growing up in the city of Compton, like somebody talking about I don't know about gangs and all that, and I'm Black Power banging, so I use a lot of gang analogies.
I
Just to
actually
put that
threw
out
this
You
there.
can't use that on
out.
TikTok. You can't do that
Black
here.
Power. I can't say
Afro,
Black Power.
No, you can say that, but you
Yeah,
can't
Black
use
Power.
gang analogies here
One
on
Oh,
minute
TikTok.
and cozy. 1 minute. So, some of us are familiar. I'm speaking for myself. I'm familiar with him. It's just going to keep going back and forth. I
Yeah,
just want
what?
to say
Okay,
this:
all right.
no, I'm
I
I'm, I'm
got
done.
you. I
Pan-Africanism.
got you.
I'm
Hold
we
on,
good.
I'm talking to the host. I'm talking to the host. Pan-Africanism and the way we know it today is not working. The continent is actually failing. Right? 33 countries over there are underdeveloped. They sell FGM, child
Did
marriages,
somebody kick him off?
slave labor.
No,
No, I
I
didn't kick
didn't.
him
I
off.
didn't touch him.
He
He
dropped.
left.
Oh,
So when I said, some teams go internationally, that's what all the Pan Africans that's here in the United States of America really, literally need to go over there and help build the infrastructure because the Asians ain't doing it right. The Africans ain't doing it right. The Russians, the this one, the that one. If it's not working the way that you want, do something differently. Sometimes you got to change your location, okay? Not just change the way you're getting on my good last nerve. Go
all
to the
right.
continent yourself and help. What is wrong with them?
Falik, can I say something? Because I didn't speak yet.
Hello, can I?
Yeah, hold
One
on, hold
minute,
on.
y'all.
Introduce
1
myself.
minute, because there
Yeah,
was
we all didn't
Hold
speak.
on.
It's a line
there's
thing,
an
Yeah,
bro.
order. Sorry.
to be honest, nobody on the panel. I just refreshed. Nobody on the panel has spoken yet.
Yeah,
Me
it's a
and him had
line.
a back and forth, and I want to be fair to everybody. Let me not be too long winded, but we're trying to have an educational dialogue. All right. And then some of the stuff he was talking about, you're first place, you're second place. See, that's that. And I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to a lot of Pan Africanists, y'all have this very degrading way y'all talk about Black Americans. You really do. You really
Seriously.
do. Y'all don't talk about nobody else like that. Y'all really talk about us in this very degrading, demoralizing way. I don't like that. Y'all really do. I really don't like that.
We lost, we broken, and we don't own, and it's just like, damn, family, get educated. We own a lot of stuff. No, we don't. It's just like,
Y'all not
oh,
nothing. Y'all was
Can
like,
I?
y'all, dude, okay.
Hello, can I interject something
I
and
don't even think
y'all
he
right
was
after?
I don't even
Myron, you
think he was
fiending,
being
family. Hold on, we gonna get you, man.
he
Let's,
definitely
Damn.
just
we
said it
gotta
was a
be,
lie. He
okay,
did just say that. I just
okay.
wanted to say, cat. My throat slipped. Don't even worry about it. Go ahead. Go.
Mine too. It happened, it happened. Okay, let's get to Black Vanguard. Let's get to Black Vanguard.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, so they said why folks dislike the term Foundation Black America. The reason why I don't like the term Foundation Black America for very different reasons, especially when it comes to criminality. They was the main ones saying they black. All of a sudden, the crimes they doing, all of a sudden, they started calling out by their ethnicity. All that stuff they doing up there in Minnesota with the daycare center scams and all them welfare fraud scams, they start calling by ethnicity. These people start saying these are Somalis. And then I remember E.R. Omar, she said, I'm black and art and shout out to the Foundation of Black American Freedmen family for saying, no, no, y'all Somalian. When y'all was doing positive stuff, y'all was saying y'all Somali. That's why they don't like the term Foundation of Black American because we delineate the same thing with that person Shabuzi, whatever his name is. Though I don't know how you pronounce his name. But yeah, he was the main one saying immigrants in America, and also they were real quick to delineate what is something positive, something constructive. Like Shabuzi, he was the main one saying that I'm the son of Nigerian immigrants that's in America. All of a sudden, the communities on him. All of a sudden, he's one said we black people. I said no, 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 you Nigerian. You are first generation born anchor baby that's in America. You're not a foundational black American at all. So they mad because they can't latch on to our historical icons, our historical compliments we got in this country. Because
Mm-hmm.
most of these African Caribbean nations, they don't have no historical icons like we have in America. They don't have the Dr. Martin King Jr.'s, the Malcolm X's. They don't have the Dr. Ben Carson's. They don't have. We got several iconic figures when it comes to activism, when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to political icons. We actually have several. Our icons so respect all over the world. We got icon statues in other countries. So I went to Japan. You got a statue of Dr. Martin King Jr. in, I think, in Nagasaki out there in Japan as well. So our icons celebrated worldwide. People respect our icons. The reason why they will say they us, now all of a sudden you got them African and Caribbeans trying to latch on to Black History Month. We the one that made the term black popular. During this term, we say we black with our part. That came from Foundation Black American Society. I remember back in the day, I remember in the 90s where I grew up, I'm born in 93. I remember in the 90s, even all the way to early 2000s, when I was growing up coming up as a kid, I never heard no African Caribbean saying they was black. They actually looked black like a discussion term. We used to tell Dominicans, you black, say, me no black, me Dominicano, me no black, me Boniqua. Me no black, me Haitian, me no black, we Jamaican, we are Nigerian, we Somalian. And also over there in a lot of these African nations, they don't call themselves black as an ethnic identifier. They call themselves based off of their tribal groups over there. Say, for example, like Nigerians say, I'm not black, I'm Igbo. I'm Yoruba, I'm Fulani, I'm Hasete Magana. I'm not black, I'm Asante, I'm Fante, I'm Akan, I'm Fante, and so on and so forth. Same thing when it comes to Ethiopians. I'm a Oromo, I'm a Tigray, I'm an Art. They were quick to delineate based off their tribes though, but they know we got more power. We have got a lot done. And these Democratic shields and these tethers and Mabbies out here in California, we have a whole delineation bill we passed, which is SB 515, and it gets put in effect next year or 2027. They mad because they can't co-opt the delineation movement. That's why these tethers, the DNC shields, they mad because somebody mentioned earlier is that if it weren't for these legacy organizations, they mad because they didn't label us like the word African American. Jesse Jackson, he labeled us under DNC. They label us the word African American. We wouldn't call ourselves African American prior to 1988. We wasn't. I got more I gotta say, but I'm gonna let other people speak. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Let's get you Omega, and then we'll get you the next person. I'll figure out who that is in a little bit. We gotta let some folk up. Okay, Omega, go ahead. Vanguard, I'll cycle you out. I'll bring you back up, brother. But Omega, you got it.
All right, man. Be one to the panel.
Like first to you,
Peace to
brother.
the room. Yeah, when you break it down, man, speaking to the panel, and first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to speak. But when you break it down, it's not the black part that bothers people. It's not even the American part that bothers people. It's the foundational that got people with their panties in a bunch. Because it's not only commemorative, it's not only distinguishing, it's also an exorcism of power, on our behalf. It reveals to the world exactly the gravity of our contributions to this land. Non-FBAs dislike it because it reminds them of what they've done here and what they've done back home. And the unmistakable difference between FBAs and other groups. Our accomplishments, our cultural resistance, our fearlessness in the face of tyranny and all types of, brutality and moral legitimacy makes us a whole lot different than these other groups. And when we say foundational, it implies that, you know what I'm saying? They know it, we know it, and that's just what it is, man. B1, I'm done.
All right, first to you, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Bring you back up.
I think I was after that, brother. I'm not too sure.
We'll get to Myron.
Can you let somebody go before me? That's why I wanted to go earlier, because I wanted to be quiet because I'm in the car. I'm gonna pull
Okay,
over.
we'll get to Ken.
Somebody go before me.
Okay, we'll get to foundational. Oh, come on. We'll get to foundation. and then if you're not ready, we'll get to Candy. Then we'll get to you.
All right. So peace, fam. How you doing? Afro thank you for having me on ZZBX. Everybody on the panel, I appreciate y'all. I just want to kind of, as we can see, right, with this whole thing, we starting to see the Pan-Africans slither their way in, like Orochimaru from Naruto, and try to squeeze the other Africans in, as you can start to see what's going on. I think what's going on with this whole thing, y'all know me, I don't have no African ancestry, but I don't like come over here and be, oh, you guys are, I don't do that. And I think that's the issue. It's too much. I think it's extremes on both sides, right? I think it's extremes on Sometimes on the American Indian side, but some people they'll say, well, reparations mean you African. Well, no, reparations, they going off of enslaved persons to the Americas, nothing with African descent. And then they'll say, well, I want restitution, not reparation. Well, restitution is a part of the reparations if you look down the bill. So it's just a lack of knowledge on that side. And even on the FBA's, on the FBA side, as people say, well, you're a pretendian, and not understanding there was indigenous people that was already here. So I just think that it's a lack of, I think we just more information needed to be said. There's extremes. But again, there's some people that are in the middle that understand and understand. And like me, I don't push nothing on. You go to my panels, you're going to see some, but again, I don't come on here and push nothing. I think too many people trying to push, even on the Pan-African side, you see the brother try to push some things over here instead of just doing their own things and making their own move. I feel like everybody's just trying to come and change the mind of what's moving and the people that's getting things done instead of doing things on their own and getting things done on their own side and getting the movement moving on their own side. And I think that's kind of what's going on right now. Now, when it comes down to the foundational Black American, foundational really makes people do the Ethiopian dance when they hear that, right? They start shaking because they don't like the fact that it shows that our people are the foundation in the creation, because a lot of the immigrant class, they look at us as immigrants through an immigrant lens. That's kind of what's going on. They're looking at us as an immigrant. So therefore, when we say foundational, it hurts their spirit because it's like, wait, you're separating from me. You think that's why you always hear them say, "Oh, you guys think you better," or "You guys, what's the thing they said? Oh, excessive American exceptionalism, right?" And all these boogeyman names they like to throw on because people are saying they are the foundation. That hurts their spirit, right? Especially when we start talking about the things our ancestors done. You start to see them do the Ethiopian dance, start shaking. They don't like it. They start cursing you out and everything because they know they haven't done the things, right? It's kind of like an inferiority complex in a sense, right? It's an inferiority. Because if you would have just said you Black American, they cool with that. They have no problems, right? But as soon as you put that foundational in the front, that's where they have an issue, right? Because that's all it is. It's literally Black American with both foundational in front. There's no difference. So it's just that part of removing yourself from that immigrant lens that people don't like. That's what really bothers, because they operate through this world as an immigrant, getting told to leave the country, getting told to go back to your country, things like that. We can't get told that. This is our country. This is our land. And that's what bothers them. This is why they want us to come and jump in front. And they know we got the power. They just don't want to admit it. Right. So I'll land on that. I have more to say, but I don't want to take up those things.
This is everybody wants to jump in on this conversation, so we gotta, this stuff I want to say, but I'm trying to be as quiet as I can to let people jump in on the conversation. Myron, are you ready?
Yes, I am, sir. Thank you. All right. I think FBA, foundation, is a powerful word, and it's the perfect word used in front of the Black, because if we are studying the history, most of us know that Negro, color, Black was a reclassification word used out of the indigenous people. So when you're using foundation, you're at the same time linking yourself to the original people of the land. So we need the people who stuck on Native American and American Indian to understand that. And here's a point to actually prove this. We all talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma a lot, right? And we know that's the home of one of the first Black Wall Streets. Well, what's odd is that how come none of your historians really tell you the obvious truth of that Tulsa, Oklahoma was erected 52 years after the Trail of Tears, okay, which is the relocation of the 5 civilized tribes and some to the Oklahoma Indian Reservation. The Trail of Tears was 1838 to 1839. The erection of Tulsa, Oklahoma was 1890. And Tulsa, Oklahoma sits in the middle and connected to the Oklahoma Indian Reservation. That's where Tulsa, Oklahoma sits right now. On the Black Wall Street sits right now on the Tulsa, Oklahoma Indian Reservation. That is a direct connection link that we are those Native Americans. So the foundational word is your correct bedrock. It means your substructure, And the substructure before, the dominant structure now, was the Native American structure, was the Iroquois Federation, okay, which is there also the blueprint for the Constitution. So the 14th Amendment was made, it was the part of history they don't teach us, but they're talking about it on the Senate now. I'm here at the Senate hearings in Congress because I'm here in Washington, D.C. The 14th Amendment was made to acclimate for the indigenous that did not want to go to the Oklahoma reservation and did not want to live on the reservation. So when they created the 14th Amendment, it's with those who did not want to go, the indigenous that did not want to go on the reservation and wanted to be acclimated into the new system coming in. That's what the 14th Amendment was initially about. They tell you the son of slaves, all of us were not slaves. I've traced my lineage on my paternal side that back to 1812, Saunders, and all the names, Webbs, and various, that's on the Dawes Roll and the Freedmen Rolls. Okay? So when you go ahead, put up your print and look up Tulsa, Oklahoma, and see where it sits, it's connected to the Chickasaw, the Cherokee, and the Osage reservations. And the Seminole reservations right there. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Now, when you say the thing about the 14th Amendment, so what you're saying is the 14th Amendment did not have anything to do with Dred Scott and the Dred Scott decision or the children of slaves? Are you saying that wasn't about that, or?
The majority of the slaves in this country were the Native Americans. This is fact. It was only about 300,000. If you go through the United States National Park Service database, it was only about 300,000 Africans brought here. On that same one, it's about 2.5 to 5.5 million Native Americans were the slaves. And it would tell you this is a large part of history that is constantly overlooked. We know that through the Racial Integrity Act of 1924 here in Virginia, there was Dr. Walter Plecker was reclassifying indigenous people, the Nottaways and Powhatans, various ones, to Negro. This is documented fact. You can Google that. Also, we can go back to the Bacon's Rebellion of 1676, which was the same thing. And that's the 17th century. Okay, and it was over our indigenous.
What I'm trying to get to is when you're talking about the 14th Amendment and everything, because that's a conversation that people are having. I think what people just heard, maybe, and I want you to be able to clarify it if that's what you meant or not. What people heard, and what I took is that you're saying that the 14th Amendment was for indigenous native people who didn't want to be a part of a tribe. Is that what you're saying?
Who did not want to reside on the reservation. Yes. So this is go to C-SPAN right now, and this white dude broke it down perfectly. It's also in books though, older books. Yes, the 14th Amendment initially was made for the indigenous people that got reclassified, that was kicked out of their tribes, reclassified as freedmen, Negro, color, and everything. They did not want to go on the reservation. The majority of the indigenous didn't even go on the Trail of Tears. They stayed right where they were. So the government had an issue and a problem. Like, what do we do with these people who do not choose to go to the Oklahoma reservation? That was what the 14th Amendment was. They just wanted to acclimate into society. So the 14th Amendment was initially made for them. Now, the Africans got absorbed into that. You have to use our critical thinking. There's no way in the world that an African who was here's property the entire time was going to conduct the Underground Railroad. How would they know the backlands and everything from the southeast all the way up to the North Midwest? That means we people who already knew the land. Also, one question I will land, how in the world is a European or African going to understand the soil and the ecosystem here on the other side of on the eastern side of the prime meridian where they haven't been here? Cotton is indigenous to America, not Africa, not anywhere else. It's indigenous here to America. So you needed the indigenous people to do this land. Same with the watermelon, same with the freaking potato, same with everything. Now the pig is indigenous to Europe.
Okay,
same with your brown and your black.
We're gonna have to move on because now we're having a bunch of different, this.
No, but anyway, but you know what I'm saying, and that it makes sense.
I'm saying though, because I don't want to strip away the history of the fact that there were Black Americans who were not treated who were slaves, like Dred Scott, and who did not have their rights as citizens. And there was a whole movement about freedmen who got their freedom papers or who were free, but were still not treated as citizens.
Yes,
So
sir.
I don't want to strip that away. And I don't know if
I'm
you
not.
intended to
I'm
do
not trying
that.
to strip that away at all. Not
Okay,
at
so
all.
that's what I just want to
Because
clarifying on.
no, it was amalgamation. Like I said, the African got absorbed by the Native American lineage. That's how our
Oh,
bloodlines got mixed up.
but yes, but okay. I'm talking about the freedmen though. I'm just talking about the freedmen. Okay. And the
Yes,
freedmen and not being treated as citizens like Dred Scott, and the
right. We
laws
have the
not being
freedmen
applied
rose.
to freedmen like Dred Scott. So that's what the 14th Amendment was about. Is that you have people be out like, technically, if you're a Negro, the law doesn't apply to you, or a white man doesn't have to abide by the rights of any Negro. That's what the Dred Scott was about. So there was a movement behind that, which ultimately turned into the 14th Amendment.
Yes, sir.
So
That's
I just want
okay.
clarification on that. Yeah, so
Yes,
we
sir.
we got it.
No. And one thing, and I'm gonna land right now. I'm gone. The Dred Scott was a part of that movement. See, a half truth is a whole lie. They give a bits and piece of that movement and not giving us the full spectrum of everything that was going on at the moment. I'm not at all negating those people, because yes, I mean, most of the Indians were slaves and the Africans, they was working together. But what I'm saying is they only give us part of the truth, and then we go fill it in with things that's,
Okay.
what we don't believe.
Got you.
But we're together 100%.
All right.
If I could say this one thing real quick, family.
Well, yeah, go ahead, and then we'll get to Candy.
I just think that like the brother, I love what the brother told me. He actually got some facts to what he told me. I just wish that we can stick to the topic, right? And the reason why is like the situation. There will be a time where the information will come out, and then we can talk about this information, right? Like prime example, when that lady said there's no land like stolen land, I came up with the information to shut that down, right? So time will come. I just feel like when we come and bring it on the topic and change it to something totally different, people not going to be receptive to the information. People going to say, what the hell's going on? Why is he talking about this? And they're going to feel like what's going on. So I think that if people want more reception to the information, the topic, they should either allow the opportunity to come, or when the topic talks about the certain situation, therefore there'll never be any pushback. I think that would be better, right? You'll never see me just come out of nowhere and say, yeah, but did it? It's I'm gonna wait
Yeah,
if the
that has
opportunity,
nothing to do with why people don't
right?
like the term foundational Black
Right, they,
American,
you
but
get what I'm saying? So nobody would never be receptive to the information. I'm not saying the brother was right, 100%. I agree. He can come to my live, we can chop it up. But it's just, again, it's just, that's what make now. That's where the divide or the roads separate with a lot of people. They're not gonna want to hear that. So I'll land on that.
all right. Let's get to Candy.
Hey, what's up, Afro?
How
Hey,
you doing?
BA. What's up, y'all? Okay, so I'm FBA. I've actually been on this lineage thing lately, and I've been going all the way back. And I had a cousin, you guys. He was like, he's my late cousin. He's like about my mom's age. He repurposed a picture of my grandmother, who was born in, I think it was like 18 something, but she was about 40 years old when slavery ended. It was so interesting to see a picture of her. So when someone starts talking about who built this country, it hits a little different seeing a picture of your great, great, great grandmother, knowing what she went through. I think hearing the term foundational Black American, it's like it scares them because they have to come to terms with the horror of how we became foundational and what they put us through. That's something they don't want to face. The other thing is they can't leech themselves or tether onto foundational Black Americans. For example, we have the Congressional Black Caucus. It's just Black caucus. Everybody else, every other group have their own caucus. They have the Latin caucus, they have the Caribbean caucus, but we don't have a specific Freedmen's caucus, right? And the Black caucus don't do nothing for us. Y'all can't name one thing. So for us to now say we're going to specify who we are as foundational Black Americans, they can't tether to that. Now they have to acknowledge that we are a specific lineage. They're trying to put all type of terms on it. The other thing that's going to happen is when situations like what happened with affirmative action, now they will have to acknowledge, hey, foundational Black Americans need this percentage of representation in the workplace if that's going to be something they're going to put in place. If they say, oh, you guys can go to college, they're going to have a specific spot for FBAs if that's something we're going to put in place like we did with civil rights and affirmative action, right? But we ended up not getting those things. Then you look at what happened with the CBA, the Small Business, I believe it's administration. Don't quote me on that. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Can't remember the acronyms right now. But anyway, they just now said that green card holders can't get business loans. So those things were things that were set up that we have fought for, like things that our ancestors fought for, our voting rights. You know, they died for stuff for us. I'm talking about they got hit with water hoses. And the people that was getting hit with that water hose was kids, okay? Because their parents couldn't afford to lose their jobs, okay? The dogs, and they're talking about they're in the streets doing whatever, but they always trying to compare themselves to us. So what happened when we start saying, okay, we are foundational Black Americans, and you're not going to tether onto this. This let them know, and we put them on notice, that you will no longer take spots that are specific for us, that we fought for us, you're not going to take from us anymore. We're putting you on notice. We are foundational Black Americans, and we are a specific group, and we are tired of not being represented. You'll say, oh, we got Black people here. This is the first Black, and then they are, foreign, right? They're an immigrant. They're not even a Black American. You know what I mean? So we have been, I guess, played a little bit because we let them play with us with the trick bag language. So now saying foundational Black American, it's making them mad because they know they can't tether onto that. And they know that once we get started with something, they can't stop us. That's why they've been begging us to come outside and help them. And we not, because we helping ourselves right now.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We reprioritizing everything right now.
Yep.
Everything. That's
yeah,
true.
and I'll land there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good points.
Hold on. Thank you very much. So many people want to come up and speak. We're gonna have to make sure everybody's quick, not too long-winded. Thank you very much, Candy. I appreciate you. Let's get. We're now going to get to.
Coming off her mic.
I think it's Samuel.
What?
ZZ looked like she was coming off her mic.
Okay.
No.
Zizi, you want to say something?
Hear me? All I said was I just told the girl she had a good point.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Brother Samuel that came. What's up, fam?
Savior. Who is Savior?
No, I said Samuel. Brother Samuel up there.
What's up, Foundation?
What's up, fam? How you doing?
Good.
What are you trying to show us?
So I'm gonna stick to the topic, but we could get on to the Dred Scott case with the actual National Archive records case that shows that he actually wasn't a slave. I also can get on to the Dred Scott newspaper clip that says it shows right here. The plea shows that Dred Scott to not be a slave, and we can go into this newspaper clip. But I want to actually stick on the talking point.
Why I brought Dred Scott up is because Dred Scott's right. Whether he was a slave, a freedman, or whatever the case is, he was not treated as a citizen. That was the point, really.
That's not the case. The case was Dred Scott suing Mr. Sanford for $3,000 for holding him hostage for 6 hours. And he held him, his wife, and his 2 daughters hostage for 6 hours. So he's suing them for $3,000, which was the loss of the money for his business, which he could have conducted during that time, according to the
And what happened with the lawsuit?
What happened was the fact that Mr. Sanford, the person that was suing him, the YT dude, he lied and said that he was an African slave. And the Justice Taney, who was just appointed, he was really a politician, not a juror. We could get into that. But he was appointed, he accepted that. He accepted that and he allowed it. But let's get into the foundational Black American.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
So let's look at what foundational means. So people think foundational means the start of something, the creation, right? Well, foundational means the act of founding, right? Like when the Europeans come and they found America, when they say Christopher Columbus came and he founded this, when they come and they find a building and they say they founded it, right? That's what foundational means. And if you look
So
through
it
here,
does not. It
it,
cannot mean create.
it doesn't have that word in there at all. It's talking about the
It
founding, right?
cannot. What you're saying is it cannot mean create. Okay. So if you're the founder of a business, that means there was already a business and you founded. You didn't create the business.
You said founder. Foundational and founder is not the same words,
Okay.
right? Do you want to look at what founder means compared to foundational? Y'all are gonna
Okay.
make
So
it seem like I'm stupid, but I have the dictionary here, right here, sir. I'm not
okay.
being idiot. Okay, I have
So
the
go
dictionary.
with your point. Go with your point.
Okay, so the founder of something is correct. What Tyreek is saying is you all are foundational. He started something new, right? He said we are an ethnogenesis. We started something new. We're three different groups put together, right? You founded something new out of something, three different things, right? Well, first let's get to ethnogenesis. Now, how many people know that the first time ethnogenesis was used was by a Russian anthropologist
Who? Okay.
paper, right?
I know.
Now, hold on. Can I get to
Boy,
this? Can I get to
man.
this? Can I even finish talking? You gave old boy all
Go
kind of
ahead.
time to say all
Go ahead.
kind of craziness.
Go. No,
He
because
said all kind of
I'm
craziness,
sick of
right?
people not being on subject. But go ahead.
I'm on subject, sir. This is about foundational Black
You weren't
Americans.
in the beginning, but go ahead. And let's.
I mentioned a quick little insert.
But now I'm gonna let you go ahead.
All
I'm gonna
right,
let you
all
go ahead.
right. Thank you. Because I'm the only one actually showing something, right? So inside the ethnogenesis book, I find it funny. They're talking about engineering Indians, and they're talking about nothing but Huron Indians. And I also find it funny, right? In the same ethnogenesis book, that when you go to the creation or the ethnic engineering of the who is the Indian, you have the words autochthonous, autochthones, because that's what we call ourselves, autochthonous, right? So when you talk about ethnogenesis, you talk about foundational Black American. You can keep the Black. I don't even want to get into the definitions of Black that I have here in front of me because y'all don't care about that stuff, right? You don't care about the 1970 or the 1797 dictionary of it. You don't care about the 1828 or when it changed to 1857, or why did they add African to Black in 1857, but it was never there pre 1857 in any dictionary. Right? You don't care about that, but that's fine. So now let's talk about the main thing. Why don't I care about an ethnogenesis even on top of that or the foundational starting something new? Because when you look at the slave population census from 1790 to 1850, it'll easily show you, that the Blacks and mulattoes, based upon lookership in this nation, okay, amongst the slaves, was 3.2 million so-called blackity looking and Black folks and 405,000 so-called mulattoes. If we were all great during the time of slavery, this is 1790 to 1850, heart of slavery, there would be tons of mulattoes. If we also was marrying a whole bunch of so-called red natives, there would be tons of mulattoes. But we don't have tons of mulattoes. We have tons of Black folks here. So my contention with this, with FBA, is I'm not something new, as I've done my actual genealogy, and out of 200 and some odd people, I have 25 people out of Oklahoma who have actual Indian paperwork. I have 0 Africans, and I have maybe possibly 1 European, which is likely a deeper story than what you think it is.
Okay.
But
Well, here's where we're gonna stop. You've shown your family tree. Your family tree does not represent the entire lineage.
can I tell you what I'm gonna say about my family tree, and I'm gonna shut up
When
and
you
I'm gonna
just showed,
land.
you can
I'm gonna
prove
say this
and
and I'm gonna
verify
land.
your
I'm gonna
stop.
say this and I'm gonna land.
Stop.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna
No,
land.
you're not going
My
to.
family
Okay, no, you're
tree.
not. Stop it. Thank you.
And right
Okay.
there.
All right,
There.
all right, all right. This
Relax.
is what y'all FBA niggas is.
Nigga,
Stop. Let him go. Let him
this
rant. Let him
motherfucker is
rant. Let him rant. Go
retarded.
ahead.
So
Look at
shit.
that.
Oh, let him.
This
Oh
motherfucker is
God.
trying it. That's
Let me
crazy, that
let me
long
say
ass
this
word to
No.
say
because
some
I
real
You
shit.
think
should have.
they're
Yeah.
confused with what FBA is in the original sense of the term. Because a lot of you motherfuckers running around here talking about your FBA is only because we went viral. You're riding
I
the wave.
wanted
You
him to
don't
go
even know what
ahead. I wanted him
FBA
to
is.
go ahead and rant because I want y'all to see this is the stuff that people have, the stigma that people have. First off, that's not on subject. It was not. And I was patient enough to let him go through all of that to address something that was not on subject. You bringing up your own family lineage has nothing to do. You cannot say that that represents then the entire lineage. And this is the problem. And I'm going to establish this because we've had a couple of people up here. This is the problem when it comes to, and even Foundational acknowledge this, the American Indians. Okay. Y'all come in every room and bombard people with all of this. Well, if you understand this word in this dictionary, but you got to go back to this dictionary, and then this word was in this dictionary in this paper, that is, you bombard people with that, and that gets very irritating. And nobody is receptive to that because that is not the subject. That is not what we were talking about. All right. And every room y'all come, y'all flood people with that, and that gets very irritating. So when people hear that, people automatically shut off. That's why people go like, oh, here you go with that again. That was not what we were discussing. And then you can, even if you were going to talk about your own family, you can't say that now none of us are foundational. We are the foundation here. Okay. If you want to play the whole semantics, foundation and foundational are two completely separate words. Come on. All of that stuff, that stuff is irritating, and it makes people not want to listen to any of y'all arguments.
But not only that, Afro Lee. So I really understand his argument. FBA stands on amalgamation. Some of us do admit to having indigenous ancestors, but we're sticking I'm gonna go to our claim, right? Any claim that we have is to include even the American Indians if you were in this, your ancestors. Your ancestors were in this country and can be found on the USA Census of 1870. For the most part, that has never changed since it's been introduced to me. We've been the most fear, right? I even told people, stay out of your rooms, don't bother certain groups while you're not blocking and moving on. But it's gotten to a point where I can't even sit in American Indian room without people always having a problem with FBA. But I can't do it no more. You can't have peace with people who don't want peace.
Who did I have a problem with? Who did I denigrate? Who did I denigrate?
First off, you were just
Tariq, you just came off the mic. Kurt denigrating me. You cut me off. BX is denigrating me. Who did I denigrate?
First off,
oh my God,
all that bass in your voice ain't gonna do nothing here, dude. All that bass in your voice ain't gonna do nothing here.
It wasn't
chill all the way out with that.
I said, for the most part, see, you don't have a logical response for what I said. I said, for the most part, foundational Black Americans have been the most feared, that we're sticking to a date. So even if you identify as an American Indian, because some of us have American Indian ancestors too, right? We stand on amalgamation. This way, everybody's on the claim. I said, I'm sticking to reparations. I'm sticking to us being fair to everybody, but American Indians don't want fairness with us. Every other room I scroll past, may not be you, it's always talking about FBA this, FBA that. Hold your own nuts. Because right now I think y'all motherfucking riding a wave off of FBA backs. Instead of y'all doing y'all own thing, y'all are seen as having identity crises. Do some work.
Who y'all talking to? Y'all ain't been on my live stream.
Shut the fuck up, Singmu. Because I actually
been on my live stream.
Here you go showing your whole hobie ass.
Don't say shit about FBA.
Y'all are motherfucking bored.
Talk about me.
You're bored.
I'm here to say
you're
something.
Bored today.
You ain't talking about me.
You're bored today. Today you're bored.
Talk about me. Y'all got heat for other people. Y'all got heat for other people. And you ain't letting me get a fucking point across.
You just
it says, hold on. Foundational Black American. It says, why do you not like foundational Black American? I came up.
Samuel, shut up.
I came up explaining the words.
Shut up.
Black and American.
Dude. Okay, now see, it's over with. It's over with for his ass. All right.
That's a grown man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You didn't let me talk. We let you talk. Okay. Even though what you said was not on what we're talking about. It's not on that. And we were trying to let you know that. And he kept going and going. He didn't get the hint and going and going and going. All right. And then when people are like, okay, dude, I'm not all of this, y'all cherry picking certain words in the dictionary and all of that stuff. And y'all be all like, well, to see the word black in 1986 they didn't know what it meant in 1931. And then did you know that word came from Russia? Dude, That, and nobody is talking about that, and you heard people do that. If people are not talking about that, that's what gets aggravating, because y'all come in our rooms and y'all bombard with that stuff that nobody wants to hear. Nobody trying to hear that. And then you get all loud and rowdy. Y'all be the first ones to, the second somebody gives a little pushback, y'all get super defensive and super loud and super rowdy. Okay? The American Indians, I try to have a lot of patience. I really do. But every time y'all come up, if I can tell it's one of y'all, I'm like, oh shit, here we gonna go. Here we go. Here y'all go dusting off some type of ancient paperwork. Okay, here you, okay, thank you. That doesn't even matter today. That you can't even, you're not even applying it to anything we're doing today.
All these rooms are compromised because they're all over the place and nobody's giving pushback to their narratives. So if we are amalgamated, everybody has a specific branch that may have a specific piece of the history, right? And so I'm just saying that we are fair with the American Indians, but a lot of them be Caribbean. They sitting up there with Latinos, talking about they all American Indian. The Haitians are running around with American flags and everybody's looking like it's all right. That's coming from the fucking American Indians. And then they want to tell Black Americans that we're tethering on the Africans. No, the fuck we're not.
Yeah, that American Indians.
That's crazy. God. We have locked out everybody. And then y'all come in our rooms and basically do this shit.
All right, but
it's tyrant, it's frustrating because we admit amalgamation. And right? We admit that y'all have a right to do your research and do what you want, but what you don't have a right to do is steadily coming for us in these rooms. Like y'all not even on code against the tethers in front of company most times.
All right. But we are going to move on. I appreciate y'all patience. We just, I appreciate y'all patience, right? So we are going to have to move on. We're going to get to Dreadhead Kingpin and then Violin.
Yo, what's going on? Peace, everybody. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace to you, brother.
Yo, so I won't take long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that first of all, it's a two-part answer to this question because the Pan-Africans and people who are possibly of our lineage or not lineage of our ethnic group, they have a different reason for not liking the term FBA. From versus the non-FBA people who dislike the term. So when it comes to the non-FBA people, they dislike the term because it is keeping them from leeching off of us. You know what I mean? By us getting rid of flat blackness, it keeps them from leeching off of us. And come here, dog. Get over here. Come here. Sorry, give my dog. Yeah. So it keeps them from leeching off of us. So they try to say that it's because we sound like YT supremacists with our rhetoric, and that we are being divisive. But it has nothing to do with that. It honestly all boils down to tangibles for them and the things that they get by pretending to be us when they fill out different applications, when they go for different scholarships and benefits. They are pretending to be us. And so we are not harming them like the Triple K would, like they say we are speaking from a point of view of blackface YT supremacists. YT supremacists harm people physically. Right. So if we were actually the black Triple K, we would be harming you physically. Right. However, they do feel like they're being harmed. However, it's financially. So we're not taking their lives, but to them, they feel like we're taking their livelihoods, if that makes sense to you. All right. So that's 3 L's. We talk about the loss of the livelihood. We talk about them leeching and they're the way that they are living here in America. Now, when it comes to the Pan-Africans, I'm gonna tell you what it is. These people are weak. There's a little bit of cowardice that is associated with them not being able to stand on their own too. They feel like we need the numbers of the others, and we don't. We've always been able to stand on our own too and fight our own fights. These people fear being lonely. That's the 4th L. They fear being lonely because they lack what is needed to be a leader, right? In order to be a leader, you got to be able to stand by yourself, and you have to be able to say, I don't need nobody to have my back in order to speak the truth and to stand up for my people. And so that's why the Pan-Africans, they need those numbers. They just want any number that they can. It don't matter if it's people who call us Akadas. It don't matter if it's people calling us Yanks. They need all of them to join with them because they are afraid and they're cowards. And before I land, I just want to say this. People who are in the comments section, Afro Elite, he has like a gift goal, the little hand hearts, right? And we had 32. It was like at 32 or something like that. I need y'all to go ahead and just get a brother the gift goal. The little hand hearts only like 5 cents. Now I know y'all got that. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and land there.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We're going to have to wrap up soon because I do got to get on YouTube later on tonight. All right, so we're going to get to Viola.
ZZ hasn't spoken in a while, Afro.
I mean, she can jump on
anytime. I kind of want to change the energy of the room. I'm like really pissed off.
Oh, egregious. Oh, that's because I've been running around. I've been out of the car. I'm probably back in the car. But yeah, I'm glad he brought up that KKK dude again from earlier. That was absolutely egregious, outrageous, and coonish as hell. To compare a lineage to a group that was specifically created to attack our lineage at that, was simply just, idiotic, but also nonsensical, and also, again, it's just highly disrespectful. Like, why would you even, so that's why I'm like, I don't even think dude, my bad, I'm thinking about the other dude, both of them. It was the two of them kind of had similar points. But the other guy, I don't even think this was my thought from earlier, I forgot. The other guy who was saying, as soon as you said, well, yeah, you can still be a Pan-Africanist and delineate. Oh, well, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know you could delineate and still be a Pan-Africanist. Nigga, get the fuck on out of here. That is so disingenuous because that is just basic logic. Why would you not be able to have your own ideology because you're attached to a bloodline? At no point in this whole damn stream or this whole live, and really anybody that I follow this FBA that I follow, that identifies as FBA never says anything like that. You can't be this, you can't. Nobody is saying that. We're talking about delineation. So that I don't know. I get that some people are still trying to learn, but some of these niggas is just playing dumb. You know what you're doing. You know what we're doing, and you're trying to muddy the waters of what we're doing, which is why you putting these bullshit ass talking points out there. You know you don't have to be you can be a Pan-Africanist or whatever the hell and still be FBA. So yeah, we here with it. Figures.
All right. Yep. All right. Let's get you violin.
Well, thank you, Afro Elite. Thank you, ZZBX. Hey, I just want to say something real quick to you, Samuel, because you raised your voice at my homegirl, BX, and I don't appreciate that. So you can easily follow me, because I got some words for you, because you was tripping. We don't care about you, Indigenous, American, Native, nothing. We don't care, I promise you. Y'all start bringing up definitions. The black didn't mean this, and back then they used a B as the shape of a triangle. I promise you, we do not care. So the prompt says, why folks dislike the term foundational Black American? Because they are not us. Simple. It is so simple. And they move in a tribalist mindset. And it's crazy because they are okay with being like, I'm Nigerian, but I'm Yoruba, and I'm not Egusi soup, or whatever the heck the other one is. And it's just like, bruh, so how's it okay that y'all...
Goosey soup. I'm not a goosey soup.
I'm
Okay,
Nigerian, but
ahead.
I'm foo-foo. I'm Nigerian, but I'm foo-foo. I'm the ones that I wear the sandals with no socks. Like, okay, so it's cool for y'all to delineate and cut up all through your own country, which is weird, might I add. But they just get on my nerves, man. And that's why I always play them this quick little song. When they start crying, I'm like... I just get so tired of them whining. Why do they keep trying to whine? They attach to us and then they speak down on us. So why would we want y'all a part of that? Like, you know what? I know why they're mad. They're on the losing team, and we just gotta keep ignoring them. But I was on Tariq Nasheed's live earlier, and I'm just gonna say, shout out to us. These tethers are scary, and I land my plane. I'm gonna finish playing my violin because they really don't know who they messing with. Thank you for having me up here, y'all.
Are you really playing that violin?
Well, no, she really do play the violin.
Yeah, I'm a violin.
What? That's like
You really do play the violin for real.
Oh, that's a light flex right there. That's all right.
For them crybabies there, I play a little violin on your crybaby ass. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to you. Thank you very much. Let's get you T, Arizona.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna be really quick. I'm gonna land the plane really quick, but I want to say this. Delineating, it really started with them, right? I have about
Go
them.
ahead, go ahead. You got to
So,
mute as you come up.
okay. So
And
I
no more
did,
new speakers. No more new speakers. We gotta.
okay. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I did my genealogy. I did ancestry, and I did 23andMe. And I was working with a gentleman. He was from Nigeria, and he came up as a distant relative. When I mentioned it to him, he did not say anything. He deleted his whole 23andMe profile. That's just one thing, right? I was like, oh, okay. Now, to answer your question, why folks dislike the term foundational Black Americans, it's what it means. We've been here for decades, 400 plus years. We have been the race that says you don't have a language, you don't have a home place. And now we are accepting who we are. We are accepting that we built America. I didn't get that revelation until I traveled to DC, the Smithsonian African American Museum. And I was one of those persons where, forget America, they did this, they did that. But when I saw that my ancestors built this place and the stories that were untold, I was so proud to be a foundational Black American. And so, yes, it's being revealed. They can no longer hide behind our accomplishments and benefit from it. So we're in a season where um we're not like them, and they don't like that. We are strong and resilient. They cannot handle that. Okay. And I'll say this, and I'm gonna land the plane, Afro. I co-founded a group in 2020. It's an anonymous group. I won't say what it is. And it was only for foundational Black Americans. Do you know how many people fought us on that? It's an anonymous group. I got all kinds of emails. This is from Africans from all over. Why can't we be a part of this group? Nope, this is unique to people, Black folks in America, and what they experience. You cannot be a part of this group. So this started long before we accepted that we are foundational Black Americans. It's been started. We're just finishing it. So no, they cannot handle this. They cannot handle that we are strong. We get stuff done. So they can no longer benefit from the blood and sweat and tears we put into things. So that's what I say. So no, they cannot handle this.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Oh, I think it was FBAJ. I think you got it. Somebody said, what am I doing after this? I'm going on YouTube, which is what y'all need to be doing after this. Okay? Follow me on YouTube. FBAJ, you got it.
Already. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody having a good evening so far.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about why they do not like the term foundational Black American. And the reason why they don't like the term foundational Black American is because of the term itself, foundational. Foundational means we were here at the beginning. That means we built it. That means we sustained it. That means we know what it takes to keep it up and going and running. When you're dealing with people who come from a place who haven't built anything, who only rely on the past success of their ancestors, who are not even their ancestors, because that's from a whole different region of Africa in itself. These people, these people tether on to whatever they can tether on to. They've been tethering for a mighty long time. It's hard to, you know, break a cycle that you've been in for generations upon generations upon generations. I mean, let's just be real here. This is all that they know. All they know is to scheme, lie, scam, and tether. That's it. And now when they hear the whitey man, the white man, the one that they praise and worship and look at and revere as a god of some sort, get on national TV and say, you know, I like those foundational Black Americans. You know, they do have a point. Their people been here for over 400 years. I hear them out. When they hear things like that, it really makes their souls shiver and quiver and their knees buckle.
Because then that makes them also realize that they don't have a leg to stand on and a foot to run in a race against us because you don't compare where you don't compete. And I'm gonna hurry up and say this so I can land my plane because I understand you got things that you got to do. These people really are in denial. They are on their last hoorah right now. I really feel like this past weekend, with all the attacks against FBAs and all these lives questioning us, the live that had you in it where they were attacking you, you were doing a 20v1 basically. The live that Tariq Nasheed was in yesterday, I was in that live as well. They're ganging up
That
on
live
us.
on YouTube, I need to see that live. I missed that.
I don't know, but try to look up Noel Phillips. Try to see if Tariq Nasheed got a copy of the live and he posted
Okay.
it yet.
Okay.
But that's the name of the TikToker. His name is Noel Phillips, which I find is funny because he picked a American Olympic gold medalist and he's British Caribbean
Okay.
mm,
All right, but
TikToker.
you can finish your statement. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
want
but
to
yeah,
finish.
let me finish up. My bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie, the shit just found it's just about for me. It's funny as fuck. But anyway, what I was saying was I just find it funny that how they're attacking all of our most of our well-known LPAs and they're trying to pick y'all out and force one of y'all to be our leader so they can run a COINTELPRO on y'all. And the whole reason why they want us to have a leader so bad is because they want to feel like if we put all our hopes in uh backing behind this one person, if they can knock that one person off, then they can derail the movement completely. But what irritates them more so than that is the fact that we tell them there is no leader, that the code is the leader, and that FBA is not a movement, it's a lineage. And that's what's messing them up is the fact that it's not just one leader, it's that we are all leaders leading ourselves, but we are
Mhm.
all staying on code to get the mission accomplished. And that's what got them so rattled right now because our unification and delineation is literally their downfall. And we're witnessing their downfall and their collapse in real time right now. In our land.
Appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Let's get to black issues.
You FBA are so divisive. How dare you? How dare you, FBA? We Africa fight over your coattail. You know that we need
Well, no, it really wasn't that bad. I was a little
yeah,
confused at first. I said, "Oh, that's the same black issue." I said, "Well, damn." Helen,
yo,
right?
I was like, what happened? He had some like goosey soup last night or
Yeah,
something?
I thought
He had
I
some
somebody
ain't found
stole
that
the
yo. You saw
phone.
no shit. You FBA niggas. So anyway, so look, man, that pretending man, he was very super califragilisticexpialidocious, man. That guy, and he likes to deal with a lot of semantics. You know what I mean? I've stopped by his little page, man. All they do all day long, man. These guys, man, they're just unbelievable. You know what I mean? To think that they actually have no other admixture. They are purity, pure. Come on, stop it. Knock it off. You know, man, it's not much I can say about all that silliness and stupidity. We got them reeling. They in the rope-a-dope, man. We got them in the corner. We hooking them with the daggone bolo punches, the phantom punch. We hitting them with every punch you can think of right now. Everybody's reeling. Ain't much to say about it. You just keep this pressure on their necks, y'all. And you niggas, you don't understand. If you keep the pressure on our neck, we will falter. They're going to send us home with the Haitians. So one love, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, but no need for the pretending name though. I'm with you though.
Yeah. Let's get to how do you pronounce your name? Belami? Is that how you pronounce it? Belami? All right. Well, I guess you ain't ready. Let's get you J Rock. Yeah, because we ain't waiting on nobody.
Peace, family. Thank you for holding this space, Afro. So what I wanted to say, you're never gonna really convince these these immigrants, man. I'm up here in Boston, man. I was raised up here. A lot of them are delusional, man. And they're always going to be upset because they get to use black when it's convenient, and their other ethnicities when it's convenient. You know what I mean? And their ego is overinflated because in these international cities, like, they're allowed, I repeat, allowed to have like their own sections of town, their own cities, and because white people ain't scared of them, because they ain't gonna fight, they ain't gonna hold up any sort of resistance, they're gonna stay quiet. You know what I mean? So they get their Chinatowns, they get their Cape Verdeans get their part of town, Jamaicans get their, Haitians get their part of town. Like, but I love that we are now like rallying behind our flag. We got our name together, and once we get this, once we show what our culture is, because again, in a lot of these international cities, we've been told that we had no culture for so long, not just from white people, but from people that look just like us. So once that is laid out, the sky's the limit. We're gonna start opening up our own parts of town, our own business districts, and all of that, and it's gonna be a wrap. And that's what they fear, because they can't tether on once we identify that for ourselves. Once we get our cultural pride up, it's a wrap. The other thing I just wanted to say is, when I explain FBA to people, because everybody acts like they're confused on who we are, what do you say to that? Because what I say is, like, the people that were pretty much colored, Negro, mulatto, or American Indian, reclassified to any one of those three before 1860, you know what I mean, or 1870, you know what I mean. If you don't have an ancestor on that is one of those, and you still don't claim to be one of those at this, black at this time, you were not foundational Black American. So what do you say to that, to just have a date that's minimal at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and
it cleans it up.
okay, yes, that's my focus. Hold on, because there's a background, some noise in the background. That's my focus. My focus is on the lineage, the whole entire lineage. If we look at a lineage, for this example, as a forest of many different types of trees, okay, my family tree may be different from your family tree, or Foundational's family tree, or ZZ's, or BX's, or whoever's family tree. Our family tree might be different. Okay, our mixture might be different. As long as we're focusing, hold on, there's noise in the background, brother. So as long as we're focusing on the forest, everybody can do what they want with their own family tree. You can go as deep as you want to. You can not, you don't if you don't want to. But I feel like if we can focus on the fact that during the census, during what, the 1860s, I believe, the 1860 census, if you can trace your family back here, you can trace your family to being foundational to America. Okay? Regardless of when they became foundational, they were foundational. That's all we have to agree on. We don't have to agree on anything else. There's no need for a public arguing about it, but you can go as deep as you want to with that, or you can leave it there. But as long as we can agree that we can go back to tracing our lineage being foundational to the country, that's where the mission starts, all right? Because that's what this is about as far as reparations is concerned anyway. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like it's becoming like an online competition of who can go back the farthest. No, that's not necessary. As long as we can all be foundational and verify that, we can just be on code with that. So that's the type of time I'm on.
Facts. I agree with that exactly, because that's what I feel like was going on. It was a competition on who can go back the furthest. Again, I agree. Everybody should do that. Go back as far as you can. I got back, to the 1700s and stuff, but it's like, it gets harder obviously as farther you go back. We found a gravesite down in Macon and in Georgia and stuff like that, so we go back a little further. But if we didn't find the gravesite, you know what I mean, the 1790 is when the census started, so it's like it's hard to keep going back. But we know that we've been here, you know what I mean, we know we've been here. So but no, I appreciate that, Afro. I'll land with that.
Appreciate you, brother. We'll hold on. I think
He has feedback.
yeah, there is feedback. I'm gonna let you get one more chance,
I
Bell.
think, yeah, I think Bellamy said he's
Bellamy.
back.
Yeah.
Hello.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you, brother?
Someone said that's broad. How will heritage Americans? Because they're not black. That's how.
So, what I'm trying to understand is like, what's the end goal here? Like,
Oh God.
Hold on.
being
Where are
a
you from?
no,
Where are you from, brother?
what's the end goal? What's the big
Brother,
picture
There you
of
hold
it
go.
all?
on,
That,
hold
that's
on,
what
sir. Everybody, and sir,
I'm just
where
asking a
are you?
question. I'm just
No,
asking a question because I
okay.
just
I
came
will
up for
answer
clarity.
your.
I'm listening to the
Okay,
conversation.
relax,
Oh my
relax,
God. Yo,
relax,
take it easy,
relax,
family.
relax.
Put that full force song
Where
on. Here we
where
go again.
is your family lineage from? Now I'll circle back to you. I was about
No,
to
no, no.
close. Now I'm trying to have a conversation. Where's your
Yes.
family
No, no, no.
lineage?
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was on mute. Right. So my family lineage is Caribbean. I was born in the Caribbean, and I came here in 2006. I've been here quite some time now. So, say most of my life here in the States, right?
Okay.
Jamaican, Haitian, what is it?
Jamaican,
Jamaica. Okay.
proud Jamaican
Jamaican.
at that.
So
All right.
now let's get to your question is what is the end goal of what?
Yes.
The end goal of what?
What's the movement like? What you guys are saying? Like, there's like not say division, right? But
Hmm.
separation, right? You guys are this versus Black African people as a general, just kind
No,
of
no, no, no,
delegating.
no. No,
Nah,
you
wrong.
know how you know how you're Jamaican, right?
Yes,
And you know
indeed.
how Jamaican has its own different history and its own heritage, and y'all have CARICOM. It's
Yes,
kind of
indeed.
the same thing. Just put us in your shoes, and you can completely understand. You know how what y'all been doing? That's what we're doing. See, now you can probably understand it in that way if I put it that way. The same
So,
thing y'all have been doing because the whole versus stuff, we don't say that when y'all have distinguished yourself separately from other groups of people when it comes to CARICOM. Okay, because y'all are not all in.
where?
Hold on, sir. Hold on.
Okay.
Jamaica is not all inclusive when it comes to CARICOM. The whole CARICOM and reparations movement that is going on in Jamaica is not all inclusive. It's not. Y'all talking about y'all heritage and history. All right. So why? So now that you understand that y'all have not been on that, you can understand why we're not on that. Right? Do you have a problem with us not being on that? Do you have a problem with us being on the same type of time that you guys have been on? Is that an issue?
So, no, I mean, so the movement in which you're referring to, I'm not 100% familiar for me to speak on that, right? So, I can't attest to that. The CARICOM movement, I'm not 100% in
Okay.
tune with that, so I wouldn't be able to speak on that appropriately. But I'm just saying, from a standpoint of, you guys are talking about reparations and like divided communities in terms of here Jamaicans over here,
Let me ask you a
FBA's
question. Let me
here.
ask you a question because we're wrapping it up. Do
Yeah.
you agree, yes or no, that foundational Black Americans deserve reparations for chattel slavery?
I wouldn't say I'm against it. I wouldn't say I'm against it. Absolutely
You
not. I wouldn't
okay?
say
A
that.
yes or no? Because saying that I'm not saying I'm against it. That's not a yes or no. A yes or no. Would you
So
agree with it or not? Do you agree with it or not?
uh, I'm not against it.
Means no.
I'm not against it.
No.
What do
That
you
See,
means
guys?
see,
no.
no, no, no,
That
no.
If you
means
See
get
no.
it,
that?
you get it. If that's what you guys are striving for, I'm supportive of it. You know what I mean? If you,
So
I'm
the
not
answer yes
against
or
it,
no,
Do
sir.
but
It's
y'all
I
see
simple.
don't.
how reluctant
It's not
he is
really a
to say it?
no.
Why are you so reluctant to say that? He's sighed.
It's
I'm
not
not
a yes or
against it.
no. It's
No,
not.
it
It's not
sounds like
really a
you're
yes or
against it,
no,
man.
right?
It's like you pulling
It's
teeth,
really
man.
it's really
Oh no,
It
simple.
you
really
sigh.
doesn't.
You are
I'm saying
very
on a
reluctant
standpoint, it
to
really
say that.
doesn't really affect me, right? You guys get it. Whether or not I'm not against it. I'm not.
That's the question he
Am I
asked you.
for it?
He
It's
asked
not.
you. He asked you. Were you for it? Yes or a simple no.
Being like I support it, like I'm going
No,
front
no, no,
line
no, no,
to
no, no,
yeah,
no, no,
cheering
no,
it
no, no,
on.
no, no,
No,
no,
I'm
no,
not
no,
doing
no.
that.
It's a yes or
That
no,
means
sir.
no. That means no, y'all. Let's stop the bullshit. That means no.
That means
That,
no.
that, that that's not a no, brother.
That is a
I'm
no.
saying
That's
that
a
that
no.
it's
Stop it.
not.
Stop. See? And you just answered your own question. Okay? You answered what is the purpose of this? What is the meaning of this? what you're doing right here, because you were able to come to America in 2006 after civil rights had already been passed, after discrimination and desegregation was or segregation was already demolished, and all of the work that our ancestors had to put in to make it somewhat livable for everybody else. Okay, you were able to come in and benefit off of the livable America that we created. And now you're going to talk about, as far as the payment for our ancestry, the ones that you benefit from, you're going to sigh and be all like, oh, I don't really know about all that reparation
Can
stuff.
I ask a question?
Now, hold on. If I was to go to Jamaica and everything, and if there was a movement, even though if there was a movement for Jamaicans to get reparations, and I was kind of indifferent about it, I was benefiting off of their ancestors and their work, but I was indifferent about their reparations. If I was indifferent about that, y'all would want us to go. Y'all would want us to go real quick. Y'all don't want people who are coming to y'all land and then throwing monkey wrenches in y'all movements. Y'all don't want people doing that.
So okay, so that to the latter of your statement, I disagree with in terms of a monkey wrench, right? Because I'm not against the movement. I don't fight against the movement. I'm just trying to gain an understanding of the movement, right? So that I'm ignorant to the movement,
You are.
right?
You are. Because
Yes. So I'm
your
admitting that.
reluctance,
So
you
let me
didn't.
ask you a
No, stop
question.
it. Stop it.
Can I
No,
speak?
you are. Okay. You are. We heard it in your voice that you're not for reparations. You didn't even sound like you were indifferent about it. You sounded like you damn near wanted to say no, but you understood the temperature of the room and knew you were going to get jumped on the second you said that. So that's why you said, I'm not against it. You did not say yes. You said, I'm not against it. And then I asked again, yes or no, and you still couldn't bring yourself to say yes. You still had to say, oh, I mean, I'm not against it, because you want to say no and you know better than to say no.
Listen, brother, I'm
On the
not
FBA
against the
panel.
movement. Let me clarify.
Listen, we got to wrap it up. We got to wrap it up here. We got to wrap it up.
Can I ask a question?
You asked the question.
Can I ask a
You
question?
asked
I
the
just want to
question
ask a
already.
question.
We got to wrap it up.
Okay, so look, just real quick. I'm gonna go.
No,
quick,
ain't no
right?
real quick.
That's it.
I'll
He's
be quick.
done.
Let me
I
be
drop
quick.
him down.
No. That's it. That's enough. We wrapping it up. I got to get on YouTube. Okay. Well, that's that. See? All right. I guess y'all can get y'all final words in
All right.
real quick. Like 1
Yeah,
minute,
I'll be
please.
quick. So I think when it come down to it, I guess saying things like pretending or wobble stuff like that is YT supremacist native talking points. So we got to be mindful of that because again, some of these people are our people, and there's some where they're just backgrounds like Chief Warhorse that helped the Seminoles and the Seminole Wars and things like that. So we just gotta be mindful, right? Do I wish we could come together more and have conversations like that? Hell yeah, right? Because believe it or not, that brother is an extremely smart brother, Samuel. But again, things just didn't work out the way it's supposed to work out. I wish it did, right? Because back in the day, during the 1800s, when there was different wars and stuff, and we was all together, we ain't said, well, you over there and we over there, and we separate. And no, we worked together regardless of bloodline, lineage, and family tree before 1870s, right? And then, again, I'm starting to see a little divide between us, which I'm really against. Long as you could trace your ancestors back to the 1870s, that's all. Let's move the needle together. Let's make things happen. Let's work, right? If you want to push your information for anybody, that's anybody, not nobody in particular. Make your own motion, make your own movement, have your own lives, have your own page, go crazy. That's my thing. I would never come here and start, hey, best this is. I would never do that. My page, you'll see me go off, right? That's a whole different story. Now, in regards to foundational again really bothers people because again, it shows that we're not of the immigrant class. We don't operate in the immigrant lens. When we travel the world, we get treated as gods, right? We get a different energy, right? Our ancestors actually did something, build something, and create things on a global scale that everybody can benefit from, right? And so that's why it bothers people because they can't say nothing that their family did on a global scale to make them proud about. And that's why they want to cling on to us. So I'll land on that. Thank you so much, Afro. Thank you so much, ZZ, BX, and all y'all. Again, I wish we could all sometime in the future, maybe we can probably come and spin it back around, but we'll see what happens. Love y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
Love you
Appreciate you.
too.
Okay. Yeah, and we gonna get there. We're gonna get there. It's just some behavioral issues from certain people that prevents the conversation from becoming productive that we need to address. But that's, another conversation for another time. But thank you very much. Make sure y'all go to For the Culture on YouTube so y'all can listen to the playback of all of this and all of the other good, productive, educational, fun lives that we do have on TikTok. Go to For the Culture. Trust me. Y'all won't regret it. Go to For the Culture on YouTube. Follow us so that way the next time we have a conversation, y'all get to come on and get on board and all of that stuff. ZZ, any final words? Real quick.
Most definitely. I just wanted to touch on that point too about the brother who brought up etymology about the word black and things of that nature. At this point in time, I don't think we're going to convince black people to not identify as black. So I mean, we can get into the root of the word and this, that, and the other. And the root of foundational and, but when you switch the perspective, because even like the N-word, black people use that. At this point, you're not convincing black people not to use that. There's too many black people that are adamantly using that. You know what I'm saying? So for some black people, you're just not going to get it. Not enough of us. So if you switch that perspective and look at it like that, well, now we've taken ownership of that word black. We have to the point where we've inspired other people to want to identify as black, not only to tether on, but also for empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Because they've seen us and how we've used that for our own empowerment. So, it's like I get it, but at the same time, it's it's like we're running on it's a hamster on a spinning wheel. Because we're having the same conversations. We're not, at the end of the day, and when you think about it, when you think about that word, even when you think about the N-word, people say the N-word means an ignorant person, even though Dr. LaFleur said there is no definition to it. So, but people like to use that excuse. Oh, it just means an ignorant person. Oh, so a non-black person can use it. But when you think of the N-word, you think of a black person. Moreover, you think of a black American, okay? So and when you think of foundation, when you think about foundational, you think about the base, you think about the structure. That is what we are. So if we can get into all of this nonsense all day, but at the end of the day, let's just tell it like what it is and how most people are going to interpret it and how we're going to use it to empower ourselves and the interpretation and through which that we are going to empower ourselves. So yeah, I mean, that's just I don't know. I feel like that's a cyclical conversation to keep having. At the end of the day, we are black people. We love being black, and it is what it is. So yeah. But foundational black American is definitely the term we should be using. Point blank period. People want to hate on it. People don't like to rig. People don't like, people want to tether on. People want to think everybody else can do it except for us. So, I mean, there's multiple reasons. Shout out to the chat to the panel. Everybody came up that brought up the layers upon which people, why don't want us to use this specific term. And moreover, not delineate. But yeah, so, shout out to the channel. Shout out to the pat, man. To the chat. Good conversation.
Real talk. BX, can you close us out?
And I'll try to be really quick.
Because I'm typing. I'm typing on my thing right. I'm sending it up right now. I'm typing on my thing right now. Go ahead, BX. You got
it. So you got to take when I said that the rooms are compromised, and I asked you if TikTok was worth it. I think this was before our last mediation. So if you think about it, Afro, we mediated with the Pan-Africans, the Caribbeans, the American Indians, and even those of the lineage who have been doxing other FBA, right? I'm over it. At this point in the game, I've been on this app long enough to know who's playing in my face. There's new people coming up, and they're still new, even to me. So their word ain't even official. I'm going to feel how I'm going to feel, and I'm going to operate off of how everybody's treating us. We have called for peace at times, and they're still running amok on these apps. And now I'm sad that they are bringing it to your room, but I think it's just because we have had these mediation panels. I'm glad we did, but I see that sometimes you just can't mediate with peace who don't want to remain with people who just don't want to remain peaceful, right? Because there have been American Indians who have come to reparations hearings. Do you know they didn't? They said, I understand you're talking about the ones who were captured, brought here. You know, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I want to speak about the ones who have always been here. That refers to my lineage. That's respectful. All this other extra stuff that they're doing, the things that the Caribbean are doing and stuff, is just the ancestors' way of showing who is for us, who is against us, and sadly, some may be against us who are of our lineage, and I ain't got to deal with none of them. Right? But when they come in certain spaces, they should be respectful. I remove myself from spaces so that we don't have these issues, and they still find a way to get at me. So I just think that sometimes you got to leave people behind and let them figure it out, how they're going to figure it out. And that's not to the American Indians of the lineage who still will say Black American and mean it. Know how to be on code in front of tethers and talk to me or Afro in the back chat. Like, it's just too much. And I'm really, really, really confused about why they're doing this. But I have a couple of theories, no receipts. So maybe I shouldn't express it. I think we don't need to mediate with these people no more. That's just it. They don't want change, Afro. They don't want peace. They just want to put us down because they feel we are what they shouldn't be speaking Tut. We should be speaking Tut. Why are they going viral? Like, it's a whole bunch of jealousy and envy. And how can you mediate or plan to go further on your leg of the journey when you know they're jealous of the things that FBA are doing? It doesn't make sense to me. It's time to move on. And it's time for them to do their own thing.
All right, I agree. Thank y'all for having this conversation. Y'all join me on YouTube, which is Afro Elite on YouTube. Go to Afro Elite on YouTube. We still got a lot of Black history to discuss there. I hope to see you guys there. Thank y'all for all of the gifts, the likes, the shares, the comments, all of that stuff. Even the people who disagree, thank y'all for respectfully voicing your disagreement and engaging in the chat. That's what we do here. Shout out to you guys. We'll be with you guys soon. Y'all have a good night.
Peace be one.
It took a minute. She lagged.